search, but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. We're dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. You search but you stay lost. We're reaching for the stars. We're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow.
Hey, I got something to say. I'm just so sick of hearing everyone complain. I know it's tough and I know there's pain, but hitting bottom is the only way to change. So I'll keep hustling, you keep struggling. Bitch, I'm humbling, keep mumbling. I'll keep doubling, you keep bluffing. You've got nothing, I'll keep hustling. I've seen a lot of people who don't know what work is. I've seen a lot of people who don't know what thirst is. I've had a taste of evil and tried to cure the sickness, but I just keep my head down and focus on the facts. I'm setting down gravel while you just follow the path. I'll lead them into battle while you're just too scared to act. I'll leave the knife right in my back. So I'll keep hustling, you keep struggling. Bitch, I'm humbling, keep mumbling. I'll keep doubling, you keep bluffing. You've got nothing, I'll keep hustling.
Hey guys, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Can you hear me okay? Good morning, good morning. Can you guys hear me all right on here? Do I sound okay? Okay, now there was a statement made last night. Some things happened, so we didn't get to play it. I'm gonna go ahead and play that real quick, and then we will turn on the press conference. Okay.
Short or long, what do you say? I say Cabbage Patch Kids. Style and play. Style the hair short.
Walk like Athena, love like Athena, and live like Athena.
In North Texas, a heavy focus remains on this innocent voice taken 7 days ago. The voice of 7-year-old Athena Strand.
Any action or inaction that led to the death of Athena Strand is something that we are going to look into.
And on Thursday at the Wise County Courthouse, where hundreds prayed for the little girl Monday night, Strand's mother,
Again, we're not going to leave any stone unturned.
alongside newly retained attorney Benson Varghese, will address the public about Athena's death.
My role is really to make sure that the family has all the care and attention that they need.
Varghese told WFAA Wednesday his office will be specifically doing one thing:
Doing our own very thorough investigation to see who needs to be held responsible for what happened.
And that may end with FedEx facing a civil lawsuit. Their contract driver, Tanner Horner, charged with capital murder and aggravated kidnapping for abducting and killing Strand while on the job.
Do they have policies or procedures that prescribe what their hiring practices are?
Civil attorney Mike Lyons says those questions will be key. He's not involved in this case, but has faced off in civil court against FedEx before. Lyons says a microscope will be pointed at any red flags surrounding Horner and if they were missed by the shipping giant.
You don't generally graduate from being an ordinary civilian who is law abiding to one day abducting a child and murdering them.
FedEx has publicly expressed its sorrow to the Strand family and that it continues to cooperate with investigators.
She's the best little girl.
But right now, all eyes are on Strand's mother, who speaks Thursday morning. In Wise County, I'm Matt Howerton.
At Chevy, the holidays mean going places and doing things you love to do with friends and family. Visit your local Chevy dealer, and when you find your red tag, you find your deal. Then make the most of your time with the people who matter most. Find new moments, find new roads. Find your red tag and get $2,500 total cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado.
Sorry guys, I didn't see that was. I got up to go let the dogs in. I didn't see it was over, but so the other one's on here. It won't be starting for another 10, 15 minutes or so. Yeah, it's probably going to make me cry too. It's really sad. I agree though. How can he go to being a normal civilian and then bam, do something like that? That's fucking horrible. Does anybody want to come up before I start this? Because once it starts, I'm not going to click the link, or you know what I mean? Have anybody come up and messes with the link. her mom spoke out last night. It was, oh my, and it was really, really sad too.
Y'all are amazing people. And I don't know how to thank you guys for all that y'all have done for my family, but especially for my baby. And I just want y'all to know that she was amazing, and she would truthfully love every single one of you because she loves every human that she has ever met and every animal that she has ever met. And I just wanted to say thank you all for all of the volunteers and just coming out and supporting her, even if you guys did not look for her. I know people were sharing her story all over social media, and I just want to keep her face and her story alive because I want everyone to know Athena for Athena and not for what someone tried to make her out to be. Because she's the best little girl. She really was. And this just... Y'all are making me cry saying Athena's strong, so I needed to be strong for her because I figured I won't be strong by the end of this. Yes, ma'am. I know she is. And I hope she waits for me, baby. Thank you all. And please, I don't care if it's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, remember Athena Strand. Thank you, guys.
We won't forget her. That's for damn sure. Yeah, her mama is just broken. It broke me. I made another video too. And it's got the, what does it look like in heaven behind it. It made me cry super bad yesterday. So I'm not gonna play it today. Not right now. And the press conference will be starting in, I don't know, probably 10 minutes or so. So we'll just chit chat until it comes on. Oh yeah, that's something else I was gonna pop up here. So the sheriff's office, let's see here. Let me see if I can put this on. They are asking, well, like the sheriff said, for something of that magnitude and for it to happen to such a young child the way it did, they're asking for the death penalty. So here it says Wise County to seek death penalty for Tanner Horner. Wise County Sheriff's Aiken stated Wednesday that they will be seeking the death penalty for Tanner Horner. Horner is accused of the abduction and murder of 7-year-old Athena Strand. He expects to have the case turned over to the district attorney next week. According to Wise County Sheriff's Office, Horner confessed to abducting and later murdering Athena after delivering her Christmas package to her house. Because of the age of the child and because it was an abduction, we are going to pursue the death penalty, Aiken said. He stated Horner is in a single cell by himself, not near booking. Of that jail. So, which is good because fuck him. All right, the link is finally pinned. I finally got it. Who's DP? I totally agree with the DP in this case. Who's DP? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I see what you mean now. Oh, thanks, Cotton. I'm glad that you got your channel back, honey. I didn't even know it was gone. I didn't know they were doing you like that. We'll talk about that after this is over. But yeah, I'm pissed. I didn't know they did all that to you. Hold on, I'm gonna go pull this presser. Hold on. Okay, guys, I'm linking this. Sorry, I just want to make sure I have it on and we're ready to go. We got like 2. Yeah, there's no sound because I'm not talking. I had it on mute. I do that quite a bit. So if you're new, if you're new here and you don't hear any sound, it's not your earphones aren't broke. It's just me. I just mute and it's quiet. And if there's nobody else up here talking, then it gets real quiet. Yeah, I know, baby. I'm trying to get it on here, but I'm only one person. Shit. All right, let me get it up here real quick, guys.
After tomorrow, when the silence sets in, Athena's family, including her 3 young sisters, will start the journey of all of the firsts without her. Her little sister's 3rd birthday, then my 27th birthday, our Christmas Eve tradition, the first time in 7 years of not hearing and seeing the excitement of Athena opening gifts from Santa and Sissy. I ask everyone to hold your littles just a little tighter for me. I want to take a moment to thank the community for the outpouring of love and support. From the moment Athena went missing, this community flew into action, and they have not stopped. I have felt your prayers, I have read your messages and your letters, and I see your pink everywhere. There are no words to express how thankful I am for the first responders, law enforcement and responding agencies, volunteers, churches, businesses, and all those I may have failed to list. I'm also grateful to the media for helping to keep Athena's story alive. I want everyone to know Athena. She was an amazing little girl who loved dancing, singing, and all animals: dogs, cats, horses, lizards, and chinchillas. She also loved school and all of her friends in the 1st grade who are now also struggling with her senseless murder. Athena also loved flowers, but she was also not afraid to get down in the mud with the boys. She was her father's daughter. I know that Athena's death will not be in vain. I will spend the rest of my life fighting for her so that no other family will endure such unbearable pain and grief. That a monster attempted to take Athena's voice, but we are her voice. Screening and hiring policies must be put into place so that monsters wearing delivery uniforms don't show up on our children's doorsteps. Please help keep Athena's light shining. Thank you.
All right, we're going to rewind and watch it from the beginning because they started early.
Thank you once again for being It's a few minutes before 11, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. First, I want to thank everyone for being here. You being here, not just the media, but the community, helps us ensure that Athena Strand's name is never forgotten. Maitland Gandy is Athena Strand's mother. She has some prepared remarks that she's going to give this morning, and I don't want to delay that. I'm going to go ahead and invite Maitland to come up and share her remarks with you.
Good morning, and thank you all for being here. My name is Maitland, and I'm the mommy of Athena Presley Monroe Strand. On November 30th, a FedEx delivery man drove onto Athena's father's property to deliver a package of what was supposed to be a Christmas present for our daughter. This is the package, and it's the first time I'm seeing it. The package is containing "You Can Be Anything" Barbies. Athena was robbed of the opportunity to grow up to be anything she wanted to be. And this present, ordered out of innocence and love, is one she will never receive. Athena's favorite holiday was Christmas, as it is for many children everywhere. The joy Athena gave her family and the joy she felt on Christmas is something we will never feel with her again. That delivery driver admitting to kidnapping and killing my innocent, free-spirited 7-year-old daughter on Friday, December 2nd. At the time of Athena's abduction, she was staying with her stepmother and father in Paradise, Texas, doing what kids do. Playing within the bounds of her father's property on the same land he grew up and played on. The same land that for 20 or more years, he, his siblings, and all of his friends had been safe. I was supposed to bring Athena back home to Oklahoma after Christmas break. Now instead, Athena will be cremated. And she will come home in an urn because I'm not anywhere close to being ready to let my baby go. I'm sorry. I will never see her bright blue eyes or her ornery smile again. I will never be able to hear her say, "I love you, Mommy." I will never be able to do her hair again or to hold her while she sleeps. I was robbed of watching her grow up by a man that everyone was supposed to be able to trust, to do just one task: deliver a Christmas present and leave. Tomorrow will be the last time I get to see my baby. After tomorrow, when the silence sets in, Athena's family, including her 3 young sisters, will start the journey of all of the first without her. Her little sister's 3rd birthday, then my 27th birthday, our Christmas Eve tradition, the first time in 7 years of not hearing and seeing the excitement of Athena opening gifts from Santa and Sissy. I ask everyone to hold your littles just a little tighter for me. I want to take a moment to thank the community for the outpouring of love and support. From the moment Athena went missing, this community flew into action, and they have not stopped. I have felt your prayers, I have read your messages and your letters, and I see your pink everywhere. There are no words to express how thankful I am for the first responders, law enforcement and responding agencies, volunteers, churches, businesses, and all those I may have failed to list. I'm also grateful to the media for helping to keep Athena's story alive. I want everyone to know Athena. She was an amazing little girl who loved dancing, singing, and all animals: dogs, cats, horses, lizards, and chinchillas. She also loved school and all of her friends in the 1st grade, who are now also struggling with her senseless murder. Athena also loved flowers, but she was also not afraid to get down in the mud with the boys. She was her father's daughter. I know that Athena's death will not be in vain. I will spend the rest of my life fighting for her so that no other family will endure such unbearable pain and grief that the monster attempted A monster attempted to take Athena's voice, but we are her voice. Screening and hiring policies must be put into place so that monsters wearing delivery uniforms don't show up on our children's doorsteps. Please help keep Athena's light shining. Thank you.
Thank you once again for being here. I know you have a lot of questions. My goal today is to first thank the community for all the efforts that were made to look for Athena, to law enforcement, to the district attorney's office who have already been in communication with us and have offered their support and cooperation as we move forward. Thank you for being here to keep Athena's name alive and to help remember her for who she is. I'm going to set out some parameters for the questions that I'll be accepting, understanding that we are still in the investigation phase. I'm not going to comment on alleged facts or possible underlying facts, but I'm happy to answer general questions about where we are, what we're doing, what we hope to do moving forward. So with that, I'll open it up to questions.
How do you plan on holding FedEx accountable for what happened to Athena?
We're investigating not just what FedEx's responsibility might have been, but anyone else who was involved in the decisions that were made that led to this tragic loss. By doing a thorough investigation, cooperating with law enforcement, we will uncover every person who was responsible through their actions or inactions for the tragedy that happened.
So Vincent, can you outline what your investigation consists of?
I'm going to go here and then come here. I'm not going to, at this point, include or exclude anyone from being the possible target of a lawsuit. The ultimate goal here is to ensure that no parent or grandparent or family member feels the loss that Maitland's going through right now. That's our ultimate goal. So wherever that investigation takes us and whoever we find responsible are people that are going to have to face a reckoning. Yes, sir.
What are the steps of your investigation? What are you doing?
Well, we've been working around the clock since Maitland hired us on essentially Sunday night, Monday morning. I have an investigator here. He's here present with us today. He's from Wise County, and we're essentially leaving no stone unturned in looking at all the decisions that had to have happened before this tragedy occurred. I'm asking the community to contact us if they have pieces of information that might be helpful. So, for example, if there's someone that worked at FedEx or with this contracting company, we would love to hear from you. If you're someone who knows the defendant, we would love to hear from you. On our website, which is versusinjury.com, we have a page which is /answers for Athena. And you can also reach us at answers for Athena at versusinjury.com with any leads that you might have. The main number to our law firm is 817-203-2220. And we are encouraging anyone who might have information, even if it's something that you might think is minor. You received a package that day from FedEx and you're a neighbor and you believed it was the same person who dropped off a package. We want to hear from you. There's no lead that's too small for us to look into.
Benson, have you heard from FedEx? Has the family heard from FedEx? And what has been said to them so far?
FedEx did reach out, of course, to offer their condolences. It was a pretty preliminary conversation. Any further conversation, of course, will be through our office.
I know you mentioned working with somebody in Wise County. How closely are you working with the Sheriff's Office, the Department of Public Safety, the FBI, kind of the answers you're looking for?
We've already talked to a number of different individuals. Everyone has been, first of all, thrilled that my law firm is here because they know what we bring to the table and what we will bring to bear for the parties who are involved with this. All of them have offered their support, including the district attorney's office, including the sheriff's office. I've talked to a federal agent who is part of the investigation. So we will be working with and have experience working with everyone who was involved with this investigation. And we are absolutely thankful for the work that they've done so far.
Vincent, yesterday the sheriff told me that he plans to seek the death penalty. Give me your personal reaction to that.
I'm not at all surprised. That's what this community demands. You know, when you have the loss of a young child, of innocence, this community is not going to accept anything less than that. So I wholeheartedly agree with the decision that's being made, and I'm sure the district attorney was involved with that. It's a huge commitment to say that you're seeking the death penalty. It's not a small undertaking. So they are doing what this community wants, and it is undoubtedly appreciated by everyone in this community, and certainly Maitland and the family.
In many cases, law enforcement consults with the victim's family about seeking the death penalty. Did that happen in this case?
So the district attorney's office has been communicating through us and has reached out. They are also being very mindful that Maitland is in the middle of a mourning period. So they are doing everything that they can to both be respectful, but also to respect both the wishes of the family as well as the community.
Benson, can you comment more about this package? So this is the exact package that was dropped off. This is not considered a piece of evidence that the Wise County Sheriff's Department needs to have or anything like that?
This is the exact package that was dropped off. And these Barbies were intended for Athena. This was going to be part of her Christmas present. That's the very box that was dropped off at the doorstep. And as you ask yourself, is that a piece of evidence? I can certainly tell you this is not a fingerprint case. Okay, this is not a case where law enforcement needs that box to prove their case or pull anything from it.
Are you saying you are certain or not certain that the suspect delivered this package?
Well, I'm not going to comment on what I understand the facts to be or what the alleged facts might be. I can tell you this is the package that was delivered to the residence on the date that she was abducted.
Benson, obviously this is a huge civil liability. How soon, or is there a timeline on when you might take civil action at all?
Maitland's goal and my goal ultimately is to affect change. We don't want another family to feel this kind of loss. So we're going to look for anyone who might be responsible. We're not in a rush. Okay. As we investigate, we put people that we think might be responsible on notice, and those letters have already started going out to say things like, you have to preserve the evidence related to this investigation. But we are not in a rush to file a lawsuit. We want a thorough investigation to be completed. We are part of that investigation. We conduct our own independent investigation. And ultimately, wherever that investigation leads us, if it leads us to seek filing a lawsuit to affect the change that we hope to affect, then that's what we're going to do.
How many legal notices has your office sent?
We have sent out 3 notices so far. I'd rather not just yet.
What's next?
Our investigation continues. We have a list of witnesses we hope to speak to. We have a thorough plan for our investigation moving forward. But I anticipate, particularly after this press conference, that we're going to get more leads. And we're going to want to follow up on all of those leads to complete, again, a very thorough investigation. We'll also be working closely with law enforcement and certainly the district attorney's office to make sure we have everything that we need to know. And of course, it's a two-way street. Anything we learn that might be beneficial to them, we're certainly going to share with them. Other questions?
Say and spell your name.
Certainly. Benson Varghese. First name is Benson. Last name is Varghese. Thank you. Thank you for being here. We also have copies of Athena's statement this morning. If you needed it to pull quotes from, we'd be happy to hand that out.
Huh? You're spinning?
Yeah.
Yes.
Skill I undoubtedly
Is that stepmom there?
We'll take it. Thank you. Can I give it back? We already have one.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Can I go? Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I touched
Yeah, that was extremely hard to listen to that mama yesterday and today. And then for them to pull out those Barbies. Oh my God, she lost her life. You know, he was delivering that package to her. I think somebody asked me where the dad was, where her dad is. You know, I'm really not sure. And I think he's having a really hard time, of course, you know, as to be expected. He wasn't home when this happened. I think he was on a deer hunting trip, and I don't know. I don't even want to speak on that because I really don't know. So I don't know where he's at. I would imagine he's probably having a hell of a time trying to deal with this because, like they said, that's been his house. He grew up in that house. He was safe in that house. His friends were, you know, they used to come and hang out. They've never had any issues or anything like that, you know. They order a Barbie set for Christmas for her, and the sick son of a bitch that drops it off happens to snatch her. No, Nini, I was thinking that too, and I don't think they can. It makes me wonder if they're not going to be suing FedEx. I don't know. I don't even know that they can, but it'll be interesting to find out what goes on, how that works out. I am happy, and yes, I am very happy that they are pushing for the death penalty. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Tony. The dad is probably having a hard time in dealing with it in his own way. Some people want to mourn publicly, some grieve privately. Absolutely. And Panthera, I know. It was after 5, 5:30ish, something like that. She got home at 4:30, had an argument with her stepmom, and then she walked outside. Her stepmom had no idea. She had no idea. Had she known, she would have never let her daughter, stepdaughter go out there, I'm sure. I mean, she's probably really, dealing with stuff too, I mean, this is so hard. It is so hard. I'm sure they probably regret ordering that present. I'm sure they said if we wouldn't order those presents, this would have never happened. If I wouldn't have left on that trip, this wouldn't have happened. I would have been there to protect her. You know what I mean? Like the what ifs. You guys know how it is. I mean, yeah, little minks. I'm sure they do, but see, he didn't work for FedEx. He worked for a contracting company that worked for that filled in for FedEx. Let's see here. All of us here that are local are blowing out reps death penalty. Yeah. I agree. They will have to sue the contractor that hired this man. That's what I was thinking. And people keep saying, well, why didn't they do background checks? Well, I mean, he was never arrested for this. So it wouldn't have been they wouldn't have found it on his background. And yeah, survivor guilt is awful. I've been close to somebody that's dealt with that, and it's like normal. Nothing wrong in the evening with letting your child play out in the yard while cooking dinner. Hell yeah, fry that motherfucker. Yes. Cappy said, I might be liberal when it comes to certain subjects, but when there is solid proof of nasty shit like this, they can die for all I care. Well, I feel the same way, baby. And yeah, he has no criminal record. No criminal record. So as of right now, he on paper, he doesn't look like somebody that, they would have, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't have anything on his background that they should be looking into, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the shoulda, woulda, coulda, that's a killer, man. That shit will fucking fuck you up. See, I don't, man. And they said that the driveway's real long now. If you guys paid attention to when they first started talking about this case, they said that there was a like the house that sits out front that's like down, like further down or whatever, is like an abandoned house. So she was out there playing. I'm sure he probably seen her playing, and he could have easily said, hey, I got a package from Santa Claus that I got your Christmas present. You want to see it? And I mean, like her mother said, she was outgoing. She loved everybody. She loved everything. I mean, we don't know what he did to lure her over there. We don't know if he just grabbed her. We don't know, but I'm hoping that anybody who has any doorbell ring cameras or any, any cameras at all, any deer cams, any, you know what I'm saying? Anything out there that would help possibly at all, please turn it over. Yeah, Constance Sue, we went over that a couple of days ago, and it was disgusting. Like the walls look like Dolly's house. Probably somebody related to him, anyways. Yeah, he's fucking gross. And like I said, I've never encouraged to hate on somebody like this, but we are here. Shit. Yeah, that's an evil motherfucker, man. That is an evil motherfucker. Yeah, there was a girl that said that she was, that she was raped by him, but never reported it. She never reported it. She screamed about it on Facebook, which is, I mean, I would love that you warn people, but you should have went to the fucking police and turned his ass in. You know what I mean? If you can write posts and tag posts and write it on his girlfriend's stuff and, you know, you should have been able to write a statement against him. I don't know. I'm just, thank you for coming up, Pecan Pie. Actually, I was getting ready to close it down if nobody else was going to pop up. Shit, I'm like, okay, fuck it. We'll close it down. Hey, girl, what's up?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I got you. Yep.
Okay. I wanted to come up to explain my thoughts and opinions on the FedEx thing because I'm already seeing the comments disparaging this family. And for anybody that would have listened closely, they said that they're not really even saying lawsuit or money or anything right now. What they're doing, which is very, very important, what they're doing is they want to conduct an independent investigation first and foremost, because as we know, these big corporations, they'll conduct their own investigation and call it good. So, you know, I was just throwing some stats in the chat. There's 3.4 million packages delivered daily by FedEx. 3.4 million. And I couldn't find the stat for how many drivers there are, but it was something upwards of 600K. That's a lot of people. So, I mean, ultimately, and they are very, you know, they're responsible for vetting their people. And I haven't done all the research yet to look into what this independent contracting stuff is, but in my opinion, like they're the ones that are ultimately responsible for making sure these people are vetted. These people come.
I mean, even if they like, well, and I agree with that too. But I mean, even to vet them, you could have. I mean, if you had, okay, here for example, you had me walk in and fill out an application, and you had him walk in and fill out one. You're gonna hire him with no record before you're gonna hire somebody like me with a record.
Well, actually, I just looked it up. They do hire felons. I mean, they do practice. You know,
well, I'm saying anywhere, not just FedEx. I'm just saying anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't have. That's what I'm trying to get at. He didn't have.
I agree.
You know, so it's
there's
hard.
There's no record, but my point is kind of like the independent investigation, like what they're locally, perhaps, like what, you know, were there other people that noticed some strange behaviors with him? Had he delivered packages to other places and like creep people out? You know, there's a lot of stuff that does.
Yeah, did you see that picture where he took off and went and delivered another package? Did you see that picture where he?
I did see that picture. Oh God, yes, I did see that, and that's frightening. It's so scary to me. You know, it's really, really scary. These people inherently are trusted. They're just trusted. You just trust them. You don't know them. They come to your house. They're, you know, for people that have regular deliveries, like these people could be anybody doing anything. I don't know. I feel like there's responsibility to that needs, like, there's accountability that needs to be had. And a big corporation like that, obviously their main objective is going to be to keep it as quiet as possible and, you know, conduct their business as normal. But this little girl, you know, her life really matters. And I really hope that they, you know, that they get an investigation done. And I hope FedEx, you know, does something. There's no monetary value you can put on a child's life. We all know that. There's nothing that they can do money wise, but there are some things that they could do for this family that I believe would at least help. You know, there's these people are going to have therapy bills. These people are these children are going just by nature of losing their sibling in this way, they're going to have issues and problems for the rest of their life. It's not an easy thing, you know? So I don't know, a big corporation, like I didn't even look up that like monetary stats, but they're huge. They make a lot of money. This little girl did not do anything wrong. She did not deserve to have this happen. This poor family, you know, everything that they've been put through, it's going to come down to money. And people are already, you know, saying this or that, but it's, I don't care. I support this family 100%. I really do.
Yeah, I do too. And I hope they are able to raise whatever and however much they need. I popped up because what Queen was saying about the other victim not reporting. There's local reports, like from valid sources, that say she did go to the police when it happened and nothing came of it.
She said on Facebook she didn't. That nobody believed her. So she didn't go to the police. I was reading, I went through all her Facebook, nosy as fuck.
No, okay. Well, then that's conflicting then. Yeah.
And that's what Tanner's friend said. He said, if she would have gone, he said, you tend to believe the person that you know instead of the person that you don't. And I know you all don't get along with Blair, and I don't know how deep the beef goes, but I don't know if he'd get mad if you played.
He's a fucking idiot for going and doing a goddamn interview with his friend. Nobody gives a fuck to hear what his friend's got to say about him.
But his friend gave a lot of insight of what people need to do now. Like he said, she didn't report the grape. That's why they didn't really take her serious, which is stupid. But more than FedEx being to blame or anybody like that to be to blame, his friends and family were, because this dude said he brought a 14-year-old girl to band practice one time. He said, we kind of, cringed about it, but whatever. Dude, you should have done something there.
There was a lot of red flags, I think.
Yeah, this girl, she didn't report the grape. She didn't do it because she was ridiculed and, she don't want to go to police. Now, you know what that says to me? That says to me, free to be. I don't want to make this a reach or whatever, but you need to report it. No matter what comes out of it, you need to report it because it's a red flag. It's a warning sign, and at least it's on record to where if something like this does happen, it's on record and not like this girl not being on record.
I get that, but there's an age-old problem of victims having a very hard time coming forward.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to find where I read that so I can correct the author.
And like the guy said, his friend said,
really bad
he said, don't just tell him to go report it. Grab your friend by the hand and go down there with her and help her report it. Because, say like now that Free to Be did go down.
He would have been with her and said, hey, it must be you. Here, I'm going to mute you while I talk real fast because you got bad feedback.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, let me redo this.
Okay, it might be just a YouTube open or something, like in the background. But anyhow, everybody else is muted, so okay, you muted too. Anyhow, though, I just forgot what I was gonna fucking say. Go ahead.
I think it was her with the sound, bad sound.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, she was echoing, but I wanted to hear what she had to say. Dang it! Hope she comes back in.
I really am so saddened to hear that she posted that she didn't report because of that. Because I was hoping the ones I read were true, because that's going to really haunt her for probably ever. That's awful.
I agree.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, she said something about taking her friend. Yes, I agree. Yes, she should have a friend. Anybody, you know what I mean, could have went with her. I think it would have been a lot better had she had some kind of encouragement or somebody even there with her that did believe her. Yes, that did support her. I think that would have been, good for her. But it's not. I mean, I can't sit here and blame her or anybody else.
No.
I mean, if somebody doesn't believe you or you don't feel believed, you're not going to. I wish she would have. Yes. Do I believe it would have prevented it?
Maybe.
I don't know, because it could have and it could not have. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard with those cases because
you never know how they're going to turn out.
Yes, you don't,
Well, and she was just still a child herself, you guys,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
she was too.
You can't put this on the head of somebody that was,
I creeped her all over
raped
Facebook.
as a child.
Snooping, like nosy as hell. I wanted to know what was up, what was going on.
Well, I'm glad you did, because that cleared up some misinformation that's being reported.
Yeah. She said my biggest regret is not going in to report it.
Damn, so it's already starting.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that survivor type guilt with it in showing that package and stuff. I don't know about anybody else, but I was wondering about the package. I was wondering what was in that.
Too.
Because I was putting myself in that position of whoever ordered that package, and I was thinking, oh my fucking God, it was like a hairbrush or toothpaste or just like some random stupid thing, and that is what ultimately led to the loss of the child. I mean, even though it's not their fault in any way, shape, or form.
It's not related, but it is,
I was imagining myself was trying, you know, I was putting
Yeah.
on my empathy hat, and I was like thinking to myself, that is just got to be the most gut-wrenching feeling in the entire world. So I'm personally really glad that they showed that package, and it does warm my heart that it was a Christmas gift for her. It makes it a little bit sadder, but it, you know, at least it was
Yeah, it
something
was
like that.
definitely sadder to me. It was a gift for her, and then that happened.
This is a very intense situation. It really is. It just happened. Everything happened so quick. You know, we watch these things play out for weeks, months, years, even. And this, you know, the Amber Alert. She went missing on a Wednesday evening 1 week ago yesterday. The Amber Alert came out 1 week ago today, and then, you know, she was found 1 week ago tomorrow. Everything just went so fast. It was just like bam, 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 bam. It's one of the more real crazy ones I've seen in a while, and it did hit me hard. You know, I really try to. I don't ever. I usually don't cry on these cases. I just, you know, I follow them just like I follow anything else. But this one it just got me. It just really got me.
Same here. It's made me cry half a dozen times. It's so sad.
It got me too. Texan, you still here?
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Hey,
I'm all right. How you doing, baby?
I've been under the weather, kind of like you, the last couple of days.
I know. I seen you kind of bouncing around a couple different places. I wondered how you were feeling. Unseen True Crime, what you got to add?
I just wanted to, if it's okay, I just wanted to point out that I guess the purpose of lawsuits is to, you know, teach the defendant, kind of to teach them a lesson in a monetary way. And what lesson it is that we can teach to, or that the family can teach the employer, because it sounds like he had a good background check.
Yeah, they said he didn't have anything on his background from what I've heard anyhow, you know.
Yeah, unless there are, maybe if there are write-ups for behavior issues, I have a hard time, and I'm not taking anybody's side. I'm not, and I feel bad for this family. The thing is I don't know if they have anything that, you know, to take to court. If the employer did everything right and this guy was just kind of hiding in plain sight and or something just snapped in his mind, then I don't know that there's anything anybody can have done. And I kind of worry about what that means for, you know, you have to figure out what's going on first. What flipped that switch that he would do that? It's just bizarre.
Well, apparently he's been doing weird shit like this for a while. Now, look, if Constance Sue, I don't know if you can read the chat because I seen you were in the car, but she said this dude openly dated a 14-year-old when he was like 20. And then she said he made he made bike remarks about young girls. Wait a minute.
Allegedly, this is allegedly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm trying to read her comment, but hold on. Is it bite? Did you mean bite, or he made bike remarks about young girls? He raped women all in front of his bandmates and friends.
Oh boy.
No, he didn't rape anybody in front of people. Unless she means statutorily, like being
close
to.
Then people could be held responsible for not reporting it.
Well, didn't his friends say, though, that he didn't do anything of a sexual nature in front of them? I thought that's what they said.
He did. It was a fucking almost 5-hour interview, and I can't get through 2 minutes of.
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm not going to be watching the interview with no friend on no other channel because where was that fucking friend watching all this shitty behavior go down and doing nothing? That's gross. That's stupid. Why even
that's what I went over there to watch. I couldn't even remember what I went over there to watch, and that was it. And there were so many ums in the first 30 seconds. I couldn't. I just clicked
And then he wanted to sit there and giggle like a fucking schoolgirl. He's shit funny about it.
Oh, wow.
About it.
Do you guys want me to go over there and watch it? Maybe, you know, try to clip it up?
No. I don't care about nothing. I don't want to know nothing about it. I don't want to glorify this motherfucker in any fucking way at all whatsoever.
No.
You can watch it if you
Okay.
want, but
All
I
right.
don't want it over here. You know what I
If
mean?
it was a,
Yeah, I'm always.
if it was Athena's family, I would be totally interested on a like need to
Yeah.
know basis, but it's not.
Well, I'm one of those people. I'm very interested in what makes other people tick. So I would, whatever. But
Okay, hold on. The
I feel
live
bad
is like
for
4
him.
hours, but she said the interview is only an hour and a half at the end. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
So, do you mind telling me or put it in the back chat who has it?
Yeah, Baby Gap. That's who
Oh,
did it.
oh boy. Of course he did. Well, thank you, Baby Gap. So, but I'm going to hop down. I just kind of wanted to chime in. I'm not taking sides. I'm not saying that the family is wrong. I'm just speaking from my experience with tort law is that's kind of the purpose is to, say, get somebody's attention. Hey, you did this wrong, fix it. So,
Well, he said they're not in a hurry to sue anybody and that they would like to affect actual change. So that's not the only reason for the lawsuit is money, if there even ends up being
oh
one.
yeah.
Well,
So
and on
people need
top of
to
that, like she
understand
said, they
that.
do.
I am
FedEx would
taking
do their
sides,
own.
and I
their
side with the
own-
family over the corporation. I am
Oh,
taking
yeah, for
sides.
sure.
Yes. Okay. I do side with the family.
And you have
I
to
do.
understand also, this is going to be whatever comes with FedEx and this family will be in civil court. It will not be in criminal. And as we all know, the burden of proof is a lot lower in a civil court. And I've already looked up some of the Texas code for it.
Okay.
They've got a case. There's just
They do. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I didn't know, I'm not familiar with Texas tort law. So, but I guess I don't want people to think that I'm taking the killer's side. I'm not. I'm taking the family's side. I don't want anybody to think that.
Well,
But
absolutely not. And I think they kind of know. They know that. You know what I mean? They kind of know what
Yeah.
you're saying. Constant
Yeah.
Sue, I'll watch that if you're going to make it, but I'm not going over there and watching that bullshit. I'm not going
Amen.
to either, but I will watch your clips.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, well, then I'll wait for Constance Sue to put something out. So this whole thing is so much to think about and sort through. It brings a lot to my mind that I need to think about and consider, and just this little girl, I can't believe that. I don't know what would make somebody do this. So sorry, I'm crying again.
No, it's okay. It's tough. It's a tough case.
It's
tough.
horrific.
I mean,
I
we don't
don't
understand
know.
it. We don't do, we can't, our minds don't comprehend, things like that.
Yeah.
Well, don't y'all think this is like legit the stuff nightmares are made of?
Yeah. And what really gets me is that what he did to this little girl and then what he did to this family. He went in there and he just beyond and invaded this father's, I guess boundaries. I mean, he was supposed to be safe there. He grew up there. He was supposed to be safe there. His daughter was supposed to be safe there. And this monster just comes in and just does all this and
Wrecked their whole world. They have other kids
yeah.
now.
And then I'm a worrier. I think too far ahead, well, what about the guards? What about them, having to watch them? Could he hurt them? It's like we kind of, as much as I don't like thinking about killing someone, we got to keep the rest of society, including prison guards, safe.
Well,
There's
I
just
don't think
something
he's
very
going to do
wrong.
anything to
Well,
the
I was going to
guard.
say the prison's
He's a
safe. They'll put that
child
motherfucker
predator.
down 10 feet and spray him with the goddamn hose. They're not going to fuck with him in the prison. I don't know if you know. Maybe you don't know.
No.
Their prison ain't going to fuck with him. They will take his ass down in the fucking quick
Throw
second.
him in the hole. Yep, they don't.
Most of the prisoners don't want nothing to do with him anyhow. Usually when when baby killers and things like that, they don't like that. They don't like that at all.
Well, and he's a child killer, not an adult.
I do want to touch base on this comment. She said something about she felt like, I'm trying to go back up here. She was saying something about, is it victim shaming? No, she actually put it on her own Facebook profile. And they were talking about it on Court TV as well. I'm trying to find your comment. I'm looking for it.
See, I think the one on Court TV is where they said that she had gone to police.
No. She wanted to go to the police. No one believed her.
I just
Not her
wanted. I saw that. I saw a comment too.
friend.
Nobody here is victim shaming. I just want to make that abundantly clear.
No.
I saw a comment from somebody in the chat. I'm not.
Yeah,
going to
that
say
was
who.
Michelle. So I was
Okay,
trying to
yeah.
If
Nobody.
anything, I sign on for the people. I sign on for shaming the people that didn't believe her. I'll sign on for that.
Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad.
I'm sure they all have enough shame right now, though. Honestly, I would assume anybody that didn't believe her is probably devastated that they didn't.
I would
If they're
hope that
not,
they.
there's
I would
something wrong with them.
I would hope that they are. Not that I want to. Not that I want anybody to hurt, but I just.
No, but people have to learn, and unfortunately, some lessons are very painful.
Yeah, and it
Some
shouldn't.
Doug said my delivery person
Oh
just
my
showed up was an extra person in their truck that was not in uniform.
I get that too.
So
Well, but usually with mine, it's a woman. When I've seen it, it's usually a woman. And I assume that she's bringing someone with her for protection. So,
You never know these days.
yeah, I mean, I've only ever seen two women together. So, but it's.
Mine are always alone. I've never seen them come in pairs or.
Not unless they're training or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. Well, I mean, it's kind of my
Training
husband.
would make sense.
Well, my husband and I, we had a relationship with our old UPS guy for 15 years,
Yeah.
And it's so.
Well, they know your address. They know your home. They know what you know what I mean? They come to your doorsteps. I mean, they know your family. They greet your dogs.
Well, and they own the routes. So that would make sense for you to know them for 15 years.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the big UPS guy on the big truck used to come. He used to let my dogs, go in and sniff around the packages. I mean, we had a relationship like that. And it's I had this kind of relationship. And I wouldn't ever say
Which
that
is
my
scary.
UPS drivers.
Maybe we shouldn't be letting our dogs and our animals get friendly with these drivers.
Yeah.
We can't. I mean, that's the thing. You can't blame every single driver. You can't.
You can't. But to disarm your dog against a stranger that always comes to your home is maybe a bad idea. Is all I'm saying.
It's very
good.
I
think people get real comfortable because you don't realize until shit like this happens. You know what I'm saying? And then you're
exactly.
Take a step back and start reevaluating. Like, damn,
Yeah.
Because we've left snacks and Gatorades and whole fucking little tables set up with all kinds of shit for our driver.
But the dogs are your first line of defense against a stranger. And if you disarm your dogs to daily strangers, you're inviting things to happen at that point. So we need to quit doing that.
Yeah. My husband and I, we used to give I used to make cookies and give them to our UPS driver every year.
Well, that's like the Delphi case.
Not that I'm saying that he done anything, just that it's just it's a mind flip. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's like I said, the Delphi case. He was a pharmacist. There was only one pharmacy in town.
He was a pharmacist
in town, and he was the Yes, there he worked.
Dude, he developed the pictures of the children's funeral.
Yes. Yep.
Oh.
And didn't charge the parents.
For the last 5 years, that mother's looked him in the fucking face.
Anytime she was sick or something,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think
we can't say it's all delivery drivers, but
I don't think he was a pharmacist. He ain't damn near fucking smart enough for that. But a farm tech, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I'm a technician too, but wow. I mean, I don't know. I care a lot about my patients, and
it still trips me out that he developed the funeral photos and gave them to the family for free. That's just so disgusting.
That's
to
right.
Me. He probably kept them for himself.
Who have came forward about DV have been treated and joked on victim, hoodie, flavor of the week comments, et cetera, et cetera. So I can see why she was young and didn't report it, especially if she didn't feel like she was believed.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I had a crime committed against me and I didn't report it. I don't think the guy went on to do anything else. I guess I got lucky in a twisted kind of way.
Well, yeah, but you don't know. She probably thought the same, Like, I don't think he did this to anybody else. I'm sure he just did it to me. It was probably just, one thing. And then, boom, he does this to this sweet baby. and she is so freaking beautiful, man. He just took an angel straight from earth. I can't believe him.
When
And
she said she was taking her home in an urn, I
well, that's what
died.
blew
Oh my
me
God.
was when we looked at his fucking page and he had a baby in his arms. I thought,
Yep.
oh my God, and he's a fucking father, so he
Yep.
knows
Oh God.
the pain of losing a child. You know what I mean? Like he knows.
Well, some people don't bond to their children correctly, though, Queen.
You're
We
right.
can't
And we
assume
don't
he had
know.
an
I
appropriate
mean,
bond.
yeah, see, and I don't know that. Due to my hold on, chaotic artist. Due to my business, I have a timer on my phone for all drop-offs. I know when they are showing up. Everyone should always check tracking. Well, see, and I don't blame the stepmom. She had the baby. She was cooking dinner. I mean, you know what I deal with, that girl. You know what I deal with.
Oh yeah.
It'd be very easy for me to get wrapped up in cooking dinner and dealing with one, and then having another one get mad at me and walk outside. Yesterday, I was the biggest asshole in the entire fucking world because I wouldn't let him have vanilla ice cream before dinner. The biggest fucking asshole. I was the worst mother ever. You could have
Those babies have been giving you a run for your money lately,
How
girl.
dare you?
Oh, I was horrible. I was the worst bad mom ever.
And it's because you bend over backwards for them so much. When you don't do it, it pisses them off. That's why, girl. Because you
I know,
spoil
girl.
them.
You know, I know.
Yeah, you spoil them, and they're like, whatever. They've been giving you a run for your money, girl.
I
It
know.
makes
And
me
yesterday I was
giggle.
sick, so I
remember
can
those
see it.
days.
You know what I'm saying? Like they get mad. Mine got mad at me yesterday. She walked outside to the damn backyard and was out there fucking around. And here I am thinking about this. I walk out there, I'm like, get inside. Just get in the house.
Right. For
She has
real.
no clue about this case. No, nothing. But I mean, it's this insecurity of mine now that,
Yeah.
I just.
Well, like she said, she was on, or they said, she's on her father's land where he grew up and everything's always been safe. And now she's fucking taking her home in an urn.
Yeah.
It killed me when she said that she's not
Well, then
ready
it
to be
pissed me
away
the
from
fuck off
her.
because Dolly said, well, I don't know why anybody would let their kid go outside and play at 7 years old. Why would you let your kid outside? Kids go outside. They fucking play outside. And like we just said, that was his, she felt safe there. Her, they felt safe for her being there.
Rumor was she hadn't left the property. It looks like that's true.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah.
She was at the end of okay, so they said there's quite a long drive.
Yeah.
And so at the very beginning, there's an abandoned house there that's empty. It's you know what I mean? It's got a bunch of stuff in it, but they live behind that house in another house, back behind there. And so it's like a longer drive. And she was out messing, she had just walked down the drive, I'm thinking, and when he pulled in, delivered the package, pulled out, snatched her and took off.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's his property. It's his property. I don't know.
It's the dad's property. It's her dad's.
Yeah, it's her dad. I mean, that's what I meant. Is I was thinking about the dad as I was saying that, but I mean, it's.
What's up, Kat?
I just wanted to. I wanted to add something really quick because, when this first came out and people were going so hard at that stepmom, being me, and I was telling everybody, let's pump the brakes, pump the motherfucking brakes, because not one person stopped and thought, if a bad person really did harm their child, don't you think they'd come up with a better story than I was fighting with the 7-year-old, how I don't know how anybody saw that and just went so hard on that mother stepmother
40%
like that.
of the time it is stepmother or father.
Yeah, I do know the stats.
60% of the time.
I know the stats. I do know the stats, and I would rather be wrong when it comes.
You just said you don't know why, so I'm telling you why. It's
When it comes, that was more a figure of speech. That girl. I do know why, because people suck.
No, and it's because people suck, and media and social media is notorious, especially social media, for gathering groups of people.
Lynch mobs.
Lynch mobs,
vicious.
Yes.
I thought you were being literal. Sorry, you know how my brain is.
No, I was just,
I was like, honey, it's statistics.
Well, I just went. So many people go so hard on the poor woman, and it wasn't just her. They were going hard on the whole family. And there was a volunteer that went out there that turned out to be a person that was just loading everything to TikTok and people disparaging their property and the way they live and this and that. And it just, that shit pissed me off. And I'm really beginning to think we're going to become we're getting to a point where when these crimes happen, the police are going to be asking for no help. because having these families but get tore through the mud, doxxed, called by convicted federal felons that have YouTube channels, like the whole ringer that these people are now put through. We're going to get a time where the police are just going to, they're going to know, they're going to have to outweigh. They're going to have to think, well, what's better right now?
Risk versus
to ask
reward.
risk
Yeah.
versus reward, to ask for public's help, or to have their, their lines get bogged
Their
down
case
with
ruined.
bad tips, cases ruined.
Well, the Moscow detectives already are discouraging the family from putting up a reward or hiring a PI, and I can't help but think that us over here might have a little to do with that. I mean, maybe a little bit. I think it's like
I disagree.
I wasn't aware though that like
I think it's mainly the Facebook grounds. They are breeding grounds for misinformation and doxing and all kinds of shit's fucking bad. Them Facebook
those groups are.
they really are.
I joined a couple of the Facebook groups recently. It's the worst. This case is, I put it in the Discord. It's like the worst thing I've seen yet.
Dude, fuck the groups. Me and
Gabby
King were on the phone
Petito
yesterday, and she was telling me that people were leaving pictures of Athena under Tanner's pictures. So I went to look, and there was people doxing each other with full Intellis reports in the comment section of this motherfucker's pictures.
Oh, jeez.
Not even in a group. In the comment section of the murderer's pictures, they were doxing each other with full reports.
Full-on death threats being given in messenger inboxes.
Crazy.
Just public. Bringing up any random picture they see, comparing it to any fuzzy image that they could find. The car thing yesterday with the Idaho case. I mean, and these people are calling this in. This is why Idaho, Moscow police don't want a reward, because look how fucking crazy it already is. A reward will magnify that by 100 times.
It always does.
Amplify it, I meant to say, sorry.
Cappy, I know you came up with something to say. What you thinking, girl? She always comes up with a point.
Hold on. I was like going through my tabs on my thing. Sorry. No, but like, okay, so I wasn't like aware that until like going through these true crime cases that law enforcement, I don't know, like I kind of feel like it has a little bit to do with like social media, but like tip lines have always had crazy people putting in like false tips and crazy tips.
Always.
But I feel like we make it worse. Yeah. Like
because so many people have access to cell phones. The government gives free cell phones, that YouTube, Wi-Fi,
right.
YouTube social media platforms. You know what I'm saying? Like,
where before with a tip line, like they would have like maybe like the Scott Peterson case, remember they set up a room and they would have people answering phones. Well, nowadays
on everything, everywhere, tenfold,
every which way.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I mean, it is.
Some of these police departments are like not prepared at all whatsoever. They're like,
blindsided.
Yeah, they really are, because it's like they don't even see it coming. They don't know what to do when it hits them.
Especially with like the smaller places that like Athena's town, for instance. I imagine that as like a smaller place. Those people probably had no idea what was coming. Like it, with.
Don't do me like that. I will go off and hear about her.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No. Are you fucking serious? Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Dumbass would.
Oh my God.
The same people that are disparaging the family in the beginning are the same people that are going to be disparaging them now because they've hired, representation. I'm already seeing it happen, and it's just really upsetting, but that's how it goes. Insensitive, inhumane comments. It's just a shit cesspool over on this fucking platform.
I don't know. Like,
what do you think, Cappy?
I don't know if it's gonna be like super popular, but like, I don't understand. I understand like they want to hold FedEx It was FedEx, right? I don't want to be like an idiot and say Walmart or fucking Amazon or some shit. Accountable, but where did they, like, where were they negligent on hiring though? Like, if he didn't have a criminal record?
Well, I think that what they're doing is, I think she hired an attorney so that they could start their own investigation, because usually,
okay,
that they do their own their own internal investigations.
Yes,
everything
right.
comes out just fine.
Okay.
And so I think they were like, screech and halt, fuck no. If we've dealt with y'all before, we're going to do our own investigation. We don't trust you guys to do it on your own. And we want to make sure that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's, if that's the case, so.
Well, an organization you can't say that they can hold, hold on one second.
That is amazing, Ninny. Look, breaking news. Brittany Griner released from Russian custody. She's a basketball player. She went over there and had 2 or 3 vape pens, and she's got a prescription for them. They jailed her ass and arrested her and told her she's going to spend like 45 years or something like that. And you'll have to look over because I know that's wrong. I know that number. Don't take me for real. But she was, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's 45 years, but it was a long-ass time for a fucking vape pen. You know what I mean? Like,
It was a long time.
What I was saying, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, Cappy, what I was saying was that, the FedEx Corporation, we can't exactly trust an investigation that's going to be conducted by them, because their business, their main objective, we would like to think that they really do care, but let's just get real for a second and let's understand that the money is the like germane issue here. So they're going to want to keep it as quiet as possible, and they're going to want to like limit as much damage as possible. And so for the family to want to hire representation, they want an independent investigation conducted, and this is going to be independent of FedEx, and then hoping and imagining it's going to be independent of law enforcement as well. And it's not just about hiring, in my opinion. Yeah, they had, there's no way to foresee anything really at all. But what we need to find out, and what the public and the family needs to know is, okay, well, what, had he ever been written up? Had there ever been any complaints? Hopefully feds and law enforcement can go through his phone and find what's on there, and need to figure out like what went wrong, because it did go wrong. And I know for myself personally, and I can only imagine for the family, I'm not satisfied with, just an anomaly. And you saw the stat that I put in. There's 3.4 million packages delivered daily.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure there's probably more cases of this. I'm not going to be surprised. I have not had the time to pull up research and anything like that, but I'm not going to be surprised if there has been instances of this before, and it's been like of FedEx drivers pulling some dumb shit, and it got kept quiet. So that's what the investigation
I was
about,
thinking
in my opinion.
I was thinking that same fucking thing though. No, that's a good point though. Okay, so this isn't just about like we want $1.5 million kind of thing. This is like okay, I understand it now. They want like an internal investigation. Okay, that's okay.
Yeah. And
because that's the way people are going to look at it, is that like, oh, they want money.
They already are. But check this out. That there's no dollar amount that you can put on this.
Exactly.
But they're gonna have
baby girl back. Yeah.
They are gonna have these people. Let's get real. These people, this family they're gonna have some costs. Let's just talk about therapy and like treatment costs for the family and for the children. I mean, we can just start there.
Oh, and FedEx will throw money at them, but like it's like there's no price that could ever fix anything. And yes, they ought to fucking cover the funeral fucking expenses and all of the above. Yes.
And I'm going to research, and I would really like to learn more about the process of them being all FedEx workers are contracted. Like, what does that mean? Does that mean?
So are they all independent? Like,
no, it means like so it means like, so FedEx has their you know how like they have temp agencies where you can sign up for a temporary like temp agency and get a job, right? So they'll just do wherever they can place you. So they have temp agencies, and they'll say, okay, we need 10 employees. Do you have 10 employees? Yeah, I got 10 employees I can send in there. Bam, I pull 10 of my employees and send them into FedEx. FedEx pays me, and then I pay my employees.
Yeah, but what about all the regular FedEx drivers that work regular every single day?
Well, it's a holiday. They need more drivers, so they contract out, but they still
No, well,
background
I know,
check.
but somebody had mentioned that all FedEx drivers are contract employees.
No, that wouldn't even be possible. How could they run a business if they have no employees?
I don't, like I said, I didn't get that far, but somebody did mention that. Am I going crazy? Somebody did say that in the very beginning.
Well, he was contracted out, was my understanding.
Yeah,
but
I knew he was contracted out.
But they still background checked him, and he was clean. I mean, how would they know that something like this would happen?
That's what the independent investigation will hopefully answer.
Okay, let me read this. Okay, it says, I put in, are all FedEx employees contracted? It says, despite FedEx's insistence that thousands of their FedEx ground drivers are independent contractors, a federal appeals court has ruled that they are actually employees and entitled to compensation for their misclassification. That's what
so they do consider them all like contractors.
That's what they're claiming.
Yeah,
I guess.
see, this is all a part of a larger issue, really.
Right.
Because,
and okay, Trixie said not all FedEx drivers are contracted. My sister is a FedEx driver for over 20 years. So some of them are contracted. I guess you could say like some are contracted out, not all. And yeah, Heels, they won't see juvenile records at all. So
that's a good point.
And Amazon does the same thing. I mean, out in the boonies here, like most of Amazon's drivers.
Is this Tiffany?
Yes,
yeah, she just clicked the link.
I was just gonna say it sounds like Tiffany.
Back chat, I was like, I said your camera's not working, so I thought it was somebody else. So in the private chat, I said, your camera's not working. She's like, all right, try to fix it. I said, no problem, man. I never got that email from you, so it was a surprise to see you up here.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I've been cleaning, so like I had to drink a little, so my inhibitions are lowered. But yeah, I mean, out here, a lot of Amazon drivers are, contracted through a company called Fluid. It's very odd. But I know that not all FedEx drivers are, say, contracted out, but it's the holidays, so there's so much more traffic going through. But I had this argument with somebody else about whether FedEx was negligent, and I said, please tell me how they were negligent in what they did, because his record was technically squeaky clean, and you can't take hearsay, say, off of Facebook when somebody says, oh, he's a creep, or he said this or he said that. That's not fair. It's just a freak occurrence.
That's what I'm
wondering though.
That's what I was just gonna say though, Pecan, is that like I started talking about something else though. Was that like, because when some shit goes down, then there'll be this onslaught of, hey, this isn't the first time, and then videos and things will surface. I'm wondering if something like that's going to happen with this,
Yeah, like I said, I haven't had time to look, but it wouldn't surprise me if this is something, obviously not this tragic, but if there's been some shit before and it just gets quietly
some close calls at the very least.
Pushed under the rug. I mean, think about the term going postal. Does anybody remember where that term came from?
Yes.
There's some, there's got it. When you're a corporation and you make so much money and you have so many people working, and I get it if it's they're like an umbrella thing, but there has got to be answers. There's got to be some accountability there.
Yeah.
There's nothing bringing the child back. We all understand that. We all get that. We all understand this guy's record was squeaky clean as far as we know from what we can find online, but we don't know. We don't know if there was, people, we don't know if there was internal complaints. We don't know if there was some, very questionable things. We don't know we don't know anything about the guy's life. And I'm not going to take the word for one of his friends over on another YouTube channel that apparently witnessed this shitbag and never did nothing about it. That, in my opinion, is, just content.
It's hearsay. So
hearsay, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. I mean, I just can't repeat myself enough. And I know it. People are going to say what they're going to say, but it's got to be looked at and put yourself in this family's position. God,
That's
you
what we're
ordered.
discussing right now, Michelle. Like
You ordered a Christmas
that's
gift for
exactly
your
what I
child.
brought to the table on the panel was that how is FedEx responsible if his record's clean? But Pecan has
Exactly.
been so kind as to say, hey, listen, an internal investigation should happen, though, anytime any incident happens to make sure he wasn't written up amongst other employees, like his coworkers or other customers,
Correct.
like for
Yeah.
all we know, he could have been like peeping in someone's window and was on probation for 3 fucking months or something.
Yeah.
Like just an example, like just a good investigation, a private investigation would be like really important right now.
Yep. And we don't have access to, we don't, there's all kinds of reasons why there could be things that aren't public record. He could have like done a deal. He could have got, there's things that we don't know. And then like Heels has said, what's on his juvenile record, stuff like that. That is all important. And it points to like a larger like issue of accountability for a corporation, in my opinion. Think about, every once or few times a year, we get something happens like at Starbucks, like they kick somebody out of the bathroom or something like that. In Starbucks, you know what they always do? They always hold their own investigations, and then they always do sensitivity training for all their employees. Like, that's not gonna fucking work, in my opinion, in this situation. That's what I'm like hoping that this family is going to be able to get ahead of, and
No, I agree.
And to FedEx's credit, I will say, because in the press conference, it was said that they were very quick to comply with LE when they were, I'm assuming, trying to get all the tracking information and stuff like that. So for that they did right, they did really a good job there, in my opinion. But
Right.
there's the whole point is that this child's life is not in vain, and I can only imagine how the family must feel. You want to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Do you know what? Like
If it was just an anomaly, there still can be certain steps and things that are put in place,
Yeah, no, but you know what's so weird about this though? It's like I don't know. I guess I have like a false sense of reality, and I should know better because I just should. But FedEx drivers and Amazon drivers and shit are not cops. They're not nurses or like firemen. But for some reason, like I always felt like those people are safe. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know why, but like I was thinking if I was ever in trouble, I would want, like, if I would think that they would help or something. But they're just regular fucking people with regular ass jobs.
And I
So
bet. Sorry,
I don't know, just like such a false sense of reality or something like with me, and that I get, it's kind of like I felt like a little kid thinking that way too. Like I'm like, wow, I was
think
so shocked.
It's more new age because like we have so many things now that people just order and deliver versus going out and getting. So there's such a demand for people to be able to deliver these packages that they kind of loosen the constraints of
Maybe.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I was thinking, I can't pull it up, but I shared the link to the FedEx website earlier. I mean, I haven't even read all of it, but if you pull up somewhere on there, like their mission statement or something like that, I'm sure that they do mention safety and things like that. And I'm pretty sure there'll be something kind of mumbo jumbo like that on their website. So you know what? It is their responsibility. Like, I don't know. I'm struggling to see why so many people are like not siding with the family. It's really crazy to me.
And you know what's weird too is like I have such trust issues too, and I was so shocked by this. I don't know why. Like I was so shocked that it was a FedEx driver. Like I'm so blown away by it.
Because it's a delivery driver. I mean, a FedEx driver. A
They're on my street all fucking day.
there
You know what I mean? Like,
there's an inherent trust in those people,
Mhm.
and it could be a false trust, it's whatever it is, but they are invited. You invite them into your home and into your business, into your life. They like it's a lot more of a relationship that you actually have, than probably most people realize. I mean, it's
I know.
it's not on a personal level, but it's an intimate level.
Right.
They know who you are. They know what your your
Yeah.
kids are. They know what kind of shit you're ordering. They know a lot about you.
Well, that depends on how much you order. And I know out here where I live, FedEx drivers are the absolute worst. Like, I dread any ship. Like, I avoid companies that actually use FedEx because it's that bad. Like, just, being handicapped and stuff, like, they won't follow simple instructions like bring packages upstairs. So that's useless to me. So, but if they did their due diligence to make sure that this person wasn't an immediate threat, and so many rumors had come through saying that she was hit by the truck, and I could see that because drivers in any company are being pushed to the limits during the holiday season with like their truckloads. It could really be that simple, especially when they say that she was deceased within an hour. I mean, to me, that seems like there's a good possibility that she could have, accidentally been hit by a vehicle that was just, barreling down the driveway irresponsibly, and it wasn't even necessarily nefarious, without them telling us.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was shocked to see it. Friday, when everything happened, when it was all happening, going down, I just kind of followed the whole thing in real time. And when the rumors came out, I was just, it's still a rumor, but all the rumors were saying it was he freaked. It was an accident. And when that press conference came out that night, I was shocked. I mean, I was shocked because they did not say accident. They said abduction.
Yeah.
And
it was
that
all
just
shocking. Like, from the gate, it was super shocking. Like, when I first heard FedEx, I was like, shut the fuck up, trolls. Like, that's just crazy talk. Like, and because we're so used to being on the defense, especially here on social media, with people saying ridiculous shit. And I was like, it just, like, step by step got more shocking. Like, then I was thinking, okay, it's FedEx driver. I was like, must have been some crazy accident. He freaked out. No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Nope. And they pulled,
Hold on one second. I have Outlaw Trucker in the back. What's up, man?
Hey, Outlaw Trucker.
Hey, not bad, Queen. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to come in to clarify or anything, but I'm just going to help you out. I am a 32-year driver and a veteran out here. But FedEx is a big company, and the corporate people up above of the outfit, they try to intermingle of what their drivers are doing and all that, but they do have a hiring field, that they do have dispatchers, they do have everything. But over the road, they do contract out their freight over the road like us truck drivers. But the intercompany, they have their own company that deals with their own trucks. Some can, if they have their own FedEx trucks, yeah, they can be independent contractors and hired out as a contractor as a 1099 employee. But most of it is all contracted freight out here on the road.
Okay. See, we were kind of curious as to how the contracting worked. Like, did it, you know what I'm saying? Did every FedEx use, like, did every, you know what I'm saying? Did they all use the contracting workers, or is it, just certain places? That's all.
It's just only certain places. And like us truck drivers, they do contract out their freight because like airport to airport or airport to hub. I did used to run FedEx for about 3 months with another mega carrier. I'm not going to mention no names, but I did run FedEx contract under a different carrier.
So, in your opinion, Outlaw Trucker, and thank you so much for coming and sharing that knowledge with us, because it sounds like you definitely know your stuff, being 32 years. In your opinion, where would the background information or anything like pointing to hiring or anything like that, like who would have been the one in charge of that, like vetting?
All right, that's a whole different contract of FedEx. Each FedEx has got their own different terminals and all that. It depends on where the location and where they're reside in. They do have their own hiring department, okay? And they have to go through a thorough background, drug tested, and everything else, okay? And the steps are: you got to get hired, you got to make sure you have a CDL, you got to make sure your fiscal is up to par, that you can get it for 2 years. Some can get hired on it for 6 months, but you got to go back and get your qualifications. Okay, it is a
and that's
process.
even for seasonal temporary people as well.
Yes.
And so there is a process that they have to go through.
Yes, a major process.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't just let anybody on the street, and that's what's unfortunate. It's because I understand that people are very outraged, but you can't necessarily say it's FedEx's fault, because they had no way of predicting that this would happen with somebody who, has a good driving record, has a good criminal record. It's just a freak thing.
Well, yeah, nobody expects them to be fortune tellers, but again, their names are on all those trucks. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that they just have no, they have no responsibility. It sounds like they passed the buck around a lot. In my from just according to what I benefits and salaries, it sounds like what do they even do?
Would you expect to? I just had a question. What do you expect them to do? I mean, no criminal record, no nothing. If you were going for a job, you didn't have that. There's no way a company's going to know what you're going to do a month from now or 6 months from now when you twist off.
Exactly. There's no way. There's no way.
Well, that's goes back to what I've been saying this whole time. That's why an investigation needs to take place. If there was nothing, there was nothing. No complaints, no odd behaviors reported, no any instance of anything, then I'm going to lean more toward anomaly. And yeah, nothing. There just nothing that could have possibly been foreseen. But I'm leaning toward there has to have been there had to have been something, because it's really odd for people to just up and do what this guy did. To just
we don't know
exactly
what he did. What if he did just accidentally hit her, freak out, put her in the truck, and then end up dropping her because she passed away? It's not necessarily as nefarious as maybe we think.
I suppose that's a possibility, and it's just there's a confession. This is a little bit different than other cases where I'm always innocent till proven guilty. This is a signed, sealed, delivered confession done. I mean, the whole thing lasted less than 48 hours. This is different in that way. If there was no confession, I mean, and the guy was just arrested and it was just still being investigated, this, that, the other thing. But the confession, the police coming out so quickly and saying this and that, it's like, that's what's kind of making me lean more toward, I'm not really concerned with what this court case has, what he has to say. And it happens with children cases.
It all goes back onto dispatchers and the safety department. If there's no nothing that as a dispatcher seen on the computers or phone calls, and they didn't suspect any red flags from the driver's attitude and all that, then they'll just go on as a normal day. But I mean, the private eye and the detectives have to go over through his dispatch information and all that from safety and all that to see if there was a red flag in there. but it's going to be a long process.
And if they
to
drive
find that.
alone, you don't know. You can do weird things or say weird things maybe to yourself, but who's gonna know that? Because you're by yourself all day.
Well, hey, Outlaw Trucker, can you
Yeah.
give us some insight as to what exactly is okay, so do you think this guy had his own truck or had his own vehicle, or do you think he was in a FedEx truck?
Without going through his sorry about that. Without going through his LLC to see if he did have a company registered with the department, got his own IC number and all that, to be an independent contractor. Without that information, I don't know if he is an independent contractor or a company driver.
Yeah, because I know
In
out
your
here for
experience, can they use their own vehicles?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just say there was a contractor that was using their own vehicle. What all would FedEx have inside that vehicle as far as cameras, data recording devices, anything like that? What would FedEx mandate be inside a personal vehicle?
From what I remember, that they do have onboard cameras, and they do have a tracking device on their units. All the box in the back is just an open box that they put all their boxes on shelves to strap it down to keep it from damaging the product until they get to the main warehouse, and they put it on a conveyor, separate it by computers, and they turn around, load it on the trucks, get it to the airport, get it on the plane, and ship it.
Yeah,
I think it's really dependent on the area, because being in a rural area, there's people that come from different states, say for Amazon, and it's a company called Fluid. Like these trucks show up and they're called Fluid. Okay, and so they're, a subcontracted company. So I don't know if maybe that's the case there, because it seemed like to be a very rural area. And they could have done that, or he could have been, always on board with FedEx and had one of their trucks.
Yeah,
True,
that's
but
the. Sorry, Chuck.
But no, you're right. But true. But anybody that wants to go and buy a $10,000 old UPS truck and turn it to a FedEx truck and be independent contractor, but you got to go through everything to get your own authority, your own license, and get to use their stuff. You have to go through different situations when you get hired on as an independent contractor with FedEx.
Absolutely.
So that's where I was getting at with my questions, because I actually don't know if he had a FedEx truck or if he was in his vehicle. But from what you're telling me, it sounds like there's almost no separation between the two, because anybody can grab a truck and slap a FedEx sign on it. Is that kind of what you mean?
They just can't slap a FedEx sign on it.
Well, they can with all with going through all the protocols and certifications.
Through FedEx themselves, yeah.
Okay, so what I'm asking is, if he was just using his own personal vehicle, seasonal contractor, whatever, I'm wondering what type of devices were inside of his personal car. Like, what would he have beside a cell phone? Because it's important, because when they had the press conference and they said that FedEx complied with them right away, they had digital evidence. So I'm curious as to what type of digital evidence would be inside a personal contractor's car using their
My
personal car.
understanding is there was a camera inside the vehicle.
Yeah, it was like I think it was a legitimate FedEx truck.
In his personal car, there will be no video recording or anything. That's his personal vehicle.
And not enough room for a holiday load, because they load those vehicles.
So you just said that if it was his personal car, he wouldn't have a camera?
No.
Wow. But if it was...
Well, then that means it probably wasn't his personal car, because that's what they're saying around town, is that there was cameras in the vehicle.
Yeah.
So he had a legit FedEx truck. That means he did go through all them certifications and stuff too.
Yep. They have to.
Interesting.
But it is also...
It's also
true, then there was a camera, so yeah.
It's also interesting that they can use their own cars with no cameras and nothing, no digital evidence, probably aside from the little handheld FedEx tracking device computer thing.
I think it depends on load. I've never seen FedEx use personal vehicles, only Amazon, so I don't know if they have a different standard.
I've seen them. Somebody in chat said it, and I agree because I've seen them in rented vehicles, like rented load trucks, like
Yeah.
Christmas and stuff. But never have I seen a FedEx in a personal like car like you do Amazon.
Yeah, if the truck is, if the like the van is broke down and all that, then yeah, they can go out there and rent another truck and for temporarily and give that driver truck to drive on.
Yeah, I'm talking about during like Christmas season and stuff, sir.
Pretty much they have all their equipment up and running and everything for Christmas on a holiday like that, rush. Unless something breaks down, then they can go rent one.
Yeah, where I live, they definitely have to add for Christmas. They don't have enough trucks just for Christmas, sir.
Same
here. I don't think the guy, the suspect, or I don't think he was a temp. He might have been a temp, but I don't think he was seasonal per se. Because
no, he wasn't seasonal. He had been working there as long as since March, so that's not seasonal.
Somebody had posted a picture of him, and there found something of him from back. Yeah,
we
back
went
in the spring.
we went to his profiles and to his YouTube when this very first happened, and he confessed like the same damn night, and he was doing videos in his FedEx uniform.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so he was a legitimate FedEx employee and not a contracted out.
He was hired through a subcontracting company.
Does anybody know who that company is yet?
That's how he was hired. No, I don't know what company it was.
I'm gonna will you thank you for coming up and hanging out. I appreciate it. I'm gonna have you jump down and I'm gonna let a couple other people up. You know my email, reach out. Follow the grain. What's up? What you got to add? I didn't mean to keep you back here for so long. I got a couple other people waiting to come up too. What's up,
You're
Gail?
all right. Hey, y'all. I just wanted to add a couple things, and I was a little behind in the chat. I'm sorry, but
no, it's okay. I didn't want to be rude. I you know what I mean? I got to rotate some people around, and she hasn't been around for a while, so I wanted to let her come up and, you know what I'm saying, chat for a few, but I was trying to rotate people around too. So go ahead though, baby.
Yeah.
What's up? I just didn't want to be rude. I'm sorry.
But like what Cappy was saying is like, I know I did too, had kind of a false sense of security when it's a FedEx driver or Amazon driver. Like you don't view them as doing this because, I mean, have we ever heard of it?
I can't really remember a case of it, to be honest, because I've been thinking about that and I don't remember it happening, but that doesn't mean it hasn't.
Well, that's
Right?
what I was talking about earlier. It's possible that there have been these instances and we haven't heard of them because they've been swept under the rug. And I think that's one thing that Athena's family wants to find out.
Yeah, but I'm not just saying this specific driver. I mean, any driver, the potential is there. So
Yeah,
especially if they find
a lot of it does stay in house, and they do have their own investigation and their own internal affairs, like HR and all that. They do everything in house to try to keep it away from the news.
But I did see too in the media.
Hold on real fast. Mackenzie said, "How about we find out for sure?" Hold on a second. Let me read this real quick. How about we find out for sure if he was driving the FedEx truck? There's a video of the police stopping the FedEx truck and going through it.
Yeah, like if in his.
We're not speculating on that. That is definitely what happened. I'll go pull the picture.
And that's why I'm saying I believe what's being said.
Yeah,
that's why I
and
say I believe what's
videos
being said in town.
There's videos of him with his FedEx outfit on in the FedEx building.
This is a discussion.
And I'm not even certain, and I'm glad that Trucker, what's his name?
I didn't think there was any speculation regarding him driving the FedEx truck. I thought that was set in stone by law enforcement.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you can see it in the aerial shots when they're going through the property there, and they're doing everything. You can see aerial shots of the actual truck surrounded, and I'm telling you, everybody's in town saying there was cameras in that mug. So I don't see where there's much of a debate there, because even FedEx says they do put the cameras inside there. You can see
Right.
the actual FedEx truck.
I apologize if if for anybody being led to believe anything. I was just taking advantage of Outlaw Truckers' knowledge, and I was just curious and asking questions on because he did say that people can use their personal car. So I was just curious to find out what would be inside a
Okay, I
personal car.
appreciate you asking. I mean,
Yeah, and I had one more question for him. If it's because that picture of that truck, I could be wrong. I didn't have my glasses on, but it looks like it's a regular truck that you or I could go rent it, budget, and move. It looks like
Yeah.
it's that size. Would he still need a CDL and to go through all of that?
No, you just got to have a regular B license
Yeah.
or regular driver's license for like a budget truck or rider. But
Thought so.
you can actually go through the hiring process through the contracting. Yeah, you can become your own independent contractor underneath that. But when you're up there to the bigger trucks, then you got to have a B and a Class C CDL to do what we're doing.
Right. My dad was a gasoline hauler, so I was somewhat familiar.
Well, and the FedEx Express employees are like legit hardcore, like they work for FedEx, but the FedEx ground employees are all contractors.
Okay, see, I thought it was residential for some reason versus commercial.
It is residential, but
It is residential, but there are the commercial side that we actually bring the freight to them to get the packages out to you through them.
Yeah. And the other thing with these driveways, apparently we know about Summer Wells, now Athena. I'm sure there's been more who have been taken from the country. They just haven't been high profile, okay?
They target the country and rural areas.
I think they are now even more so because of all these Ring doorbell cameras and all the awareness that's brought about anyway. So now I think they're like, well, hey, it's in the middle of nowhere. Who's going to see? They're just going to be missing.
There's a ton of cases that don't even get like any type of media attention at all. So it's probably safe to assume that some of those like cases are out of the country, and from like really long driveways in rural areas. And
it's also safe to assume that this has happened before and the person hasn't been caught.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because those numbers that Pecan came up with 3.4 million packages, like was that daily? Like that's a lot of that's a lot of traffic and a lot of people. And I know that there's statistics of one in how many people are a predator. So we have to know that some of those drivers
out of the 300,000 employees.
Right. There has to be more than one, dude. There just has to be.
There has to be. Statistically speaking, there is.
Right.
Period.
And country mamas, even suburban mamas who live where you can have a driveway alarm. So if your child is out playing and Amazon or someone else comes up, please get one. They're not expensive. They're not. And at least then you can be alerted someone's in the driveway and look out the window or for
Our
your
family
child. Something.
And it bing, 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 bing inside the house whenever people
So do
cross.
I. I have a very sophisticated driveway alarm on this 20 acres. It is a firehouse bell. And that's where I was going to get to too, is someone was saying, I think it was you, that girl, about the dogs. Like, don't let your dogs get familiar with these people.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly, because I don't have children here, okay? And my dogs go crazy. The driveway bell alarm goes off, they go crazy. And then when that person pulls up and they see the truck, they go crazy again. When they get out of the truck, it's a whole different tone. And while this is happening, my instinct was stop barking, quiet, right? No, I no longer do that. Okay. And I haven't for some time because I thought to myself, they're doing their job.
Yeah. If there's
and they
somebody
need rewarded.
there,
So that's what I do. I
that's
tell
what I
them
do.
that instead
That's what I
of
do.
stop so that they think, oh, I shouldn't bark at anything. what I tell them is, good boy, good girl, you did your job. Good
I do
girl,
if
you did
there's
your
somebody
job.
there. If there's not somebody there, then he gets told to shut up. But if there's
Yes.
somebody here, I've even given him a treat before
Yeah,
because
like when they're
I
alerting,
yeah,
that they're doing their job. Let them do their job.
exactly.
Yeah, I used to be a dog handler and a trainer. I do want to make exception on this. When a dog just barks and all of a sudden puts out an alert and to let you know that somebody is there, just watch the dog's behavior, and it'll let you know if it's an okay person or not an okay person. And when that hair stands up on the back of the dog, that'll alert you that he's not right
Oh, I can
because he's
tell
got
from
a
the
scent.
difference in my dog's bark. I can tell the
Me
difference in
too.
my
Yeah.
dog's bark. Yeah, he
That's what
barks
I was telling you.
differently.
It's 3 different barks. When the alarm goes off, it's 1, it's excited who's here. 2, it's unfamiliar because they see this truck, which, Amazon should be familiar to them, but it's not, thankfully. And then 3, when they get out of the vehicle and approach the door, my little miniature schnauzer, Maybelline, gets on the back of the couch and is trying to get out the window.
Mine's a miniature schnauzer too, and he would
I
bust through the
know.
glass if he could, dude. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's ridiculous.
And there's a difference too, and I hate to say it, and no, I'm not a racist, but I think my dog can differentiate in color because I'm
Yes.
telling you right now, when it is someone she's not familiar with, okay, which I'm in the country anyway, we don't see many people, okay, and when it is a person of color, her bark is different,
That is for sure.
100% different. I don't know why, it's different. Oh, see?
Elton just doesn't like other people. He's a pandemic baby. Doesn't matter who it is, he gonna bark.
But dogs got a good
Because
sense of
Daddy came
smell
out
on
of
their
the woods bark.
perspiration and everything that people come up, and they can actually sense it.
They do, and I have a hunter who hunts the property, and they know the difference now too. When he pulls in, and they see him, they bark and stuff, but then they're like, "Oh, it's just Dave."
Yeah, especially when their tail like, "Oh, hey, it's our hunter, friendly hunter."
Mm-hmm.
But learn their behavior, and it'll teach you of who are the right people and who are the wrong people. And dogs are actually a good indicator for that.
I don't know if y'all can see chat, but I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. I don't think she meant it that way, guys. There's lots of wows.
Me, I figured it was coming. That's why I
Yeah.
prefaced what I said.
It doesn't matter how you preface it. Certain things aren't acceptable anymore.
Yeah.
But my dog barks at
Are we
everybody.
talking seriously? I was so pissed the other day, okay? Like, all animals fucking love me, and this fucking stupid ass dog that walks up and down my street don't like me. And I fucking people are like watching, like other people are on the street and they're like looking like and I said it straight up to the guy. I'm like, people probably think I'm a bad fucking person now because your fucking dog don't like me.
Yes, exactly.
It's because you're a nun.
That's real fucking. It's because you know what? That little homophobic ass fucking dog.
That dog put a mark on you.
Yes, because I'm a lesbian. I'm a lesbian nun.
That dog marked you, dude. That's funny.
He did, and I was so pissed. I actually think it's because I was carrying this big bag of cat food, and I was like, "Hey guys," and I said hi to them, and usually doesn't have a problem with me, but ever since that day, I was carrying all that shit. He has this problem with me from now on forever, and I'm just like, well, whatever, fuck you then, whatever, bro.
Hills, I don't know. Did you see Hill's question? It says, remember the FedEx driver in the Wells case? Isn't he the one that reported seeing a red truck? I have no clue.
Oh, I forgot.
And
There was a FedEx. Was there a FedEx driver?
I don't know. The main thing I remember about the red truck is that Rob to take it off the flyer. That's
I thought
the main
it was a
thing
kid
that sticks
mowing
out
the
to me.
lawn saw the red truck.
It wasn't a kid. There was an actual lawn crew mowing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A kid couldn't possibly manage one of those properties. It's too much.
There were so many details in that case. Oh my god.
And they all got construed and conflicted by idiots online, so it's really hard.
Yeah. and
I
pics and
checked out.
photographs tampered with and all kinds of
Yep.
crazy shit. Like
We can't even get a solid picture of Summer. Her face has been put on so many different kids' bodies.
Yeah, and like, oh God, that like the whole
Mm.
picture with the milks and stuff, that was just
God.
that was a tragedy in itself.
Yeah.
The way that photograph was treated, like
My God.
just like they did with Quentin, like with the what are you
The
thinking?
spaghetti sauce bruises.
Like, yes, and
They're
how
thinking
like
super
how
chats
that
is what they're fucking thinking.
well, how that one bitch fucking I put it on my community tab. Like, what's wrong with this picture, y'all? Like, she kind of outed herself in her own thumbnail by like putting a before and after of her photoshopping it. Like, I think she meant to like not do that. I think she meant to like
Was she trying to
use
just enhance it, or was that what she was trying to
well,
say?
she was circling it in one of the pictures.
Mm.
And in the other picture, she left it blank. But you can't see any bruise without the circle, which is amazing because that circle is a
She
magnifying
also
glass.
enhanced that other picture.
She
She also
with the circle.
planted water bottles and like did all
God.
kinds of crazy shit. Made fake friends of people in cases and
Dude, these
fake
people are
witnesses.
psychotic. I know who you're talking about now. I remember that.
Yeah, and she always gets handled with kid gloves because she's, just Betty's sidekick. Like no one really gives a fuck about her.
Cuckoo is what she is.
Yeah, I used to handle her. I'm guilty of handling that little bitch with kid gloves too, but like,
The way you said that little bitch.
She's passing the point of redemption for me. Okay.
Yeah, and then like it's like the first videos I did on them from the Tennessee quote unquote protest. I even like when I was in part 3 of it, I was like, you know what? She's there. She's an adult. She's participating in this, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just gross.
I don't my thing is how messed up are you in the head that you actually think that it's going to be a good or productive thing to alter any kind of image or details of a literal fucking crime case? Like, people are dead. What is wrong with you?
And has Court TV not learned their lesson with Dolly? Now they're going to go interview his girlfriend.
Are
Really?
you serious? I guess, yeah.
Well, I saw a TikTok where that guy from Court TV gave Molly a shout out from somewhere.
Oh dear God!
A party background somewhere gave her a shout out.
It's that Vinnie Politan dude.
Yes.
Ain't it? Yes, I saw that shit.
I'm like, seriously?
You know they're serious.
Maybe he wanted her to shut up. Maybe she was blowing him up. I don't know.
Who? Vinnie Politan?
Yeah, Molly and Vinnie Politan from Court TV are kind of friends, I guess. I don't know what you.
Oh, for the love of God! Like,
she's always praising him and just like simping for him, and he has given her a shout out before. I've
lost all faith in media. Like, I swear.
They don't know what we know. That's what I have to remind myself. These people don't know what we know, and normally when they find out, they separate.
Like Dr. Phil and Nancy Grace are like the OG tragedy pimps. So what was I expecting? Like
I already know.
I don't know. Court TV I had a little more faith in though. I really did, but you know what? Fuck all that.
You're the reason that video got suggested to me. Remember when we were talking about Nancy Grace and the twins and all that shit the other day?
Oh my God, Lucy and John David.
Yes. So it showed up in my feed. It was a what do they call that? Like a medium reading between her and the dude that got murdered.
Oh, for the love of God.
Yes, it was only about. Oh,
your
sorry.
devices are not connected. Oh, you're gonna have to come back up. It just.
I swear to God.
But it was 15 minutes long, and it was because of you that
My
showed up.
my two most favorite things to bash: mediums and Nancy Grace. Seriously, like
all in one video.
You can't get any more bullshit wrapped into one video than a medium and Nancy Grace.
It was kind of sad, though. You can tell that she loved that man.
Oh, I'm sure she did, and I'm sure that it was a horrible tragedy that she shouldn't have had to endure, and he shouldn't have had to endure, and all that stuff. But She's a liar, dude. She
Kathy,
lies about so much shit.
You just said in all that stuff, like
I'm sorry. I'm like so fucking disconnected
jaded.
sometimes.
I
It's so
know.
terrible. Like
I know.
I don't know. We deal in so much tragedy so often that I get super numb to stuff like this. But
Well, you
today
have to, or you'll
when I
cry
saw
all the
that when I saw that Barbie box propped up on that easel, I
Damn.
lost my shit. I couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Like
knocked a ton of stuff over. I think the Barbie box really got a lot of people.
yeah.
That's interesting to me. The symbolism there and how it really evoked emotion. They did a good job. They knew when they put that box up on that stand, that's what would happen. And it worked.
And it's not just pretty little pink Barbies. It's the Barbies that they are. You can be anything Barbies.
Yes,
I mean,
Barbie comes in all shapes and colors and sizes now.
And then you'd be like,
You know?
Athena can't anymore because of him. It's awful.
Yeah.
Well, now forever, like that mom, when she sees Barbie, like when her siblings see Barbie, that's all they're gonna think about. And when I saw them put that up there, I was like, what are they doing? A Toys for Tots or something? Like
So
I didn't
wretched.
understand it.
You know what? No matter who sent it, we have to pray for that person too. Whether it was mom, whether it was an aunt, whether it was a
neighbor,
teacher, anybody.
I'm
Because
glad they
I
put
would
it up.
be.
I am too.
I was really curious about what the package
Well,
was.
it was just Black Friday and stuff, so that could have just been their Christmas shopping. You guys, Cyber Monday and Black Friday just happened.
But there's going to be some element of guilt attached to it, I'm sure, from whoever it's from. Like even if they bought it, and
That's what I'm
it
talking
pisses me off that he even bothered to deliver it. It pisses me off that he even bothered. Like what?
Not me. That's part of the way they found him.
It
girl.
would be normal. Yeah, I delivered the package and left. Yeah, I was here. I didn't see any little girl.
I mean, I guess so, but
it would be worse if he had a package on the route and came back with it, or they found it ditched somewhere. So
that's true.
Smart enough to do that.
I didn't think about that part of it, but
I wonder if
it
he was
just
under the
felt so-
influence of something.
I don't know.
It's called Satan, is what he was under the influence of. Is Satan himself from the pits of fucking hell?
But that's another thing this investigation will uncover. Well, the criminal case will too, but the investigation
No,
will
by the
uncover
time
too.
I don't think so, because by the time he was arrested, most of the hardcore drugs would be out of your system in about 72 hours. So by the time he was arrested, it would have been out.
So I don't know. That's just so crazy.
It seems like he was arrested faster than that.
I looked it up, and there are some instances of FedEx drivers being convicted of terrible crimes. There are.
Ooh, share.
Well, see, I can't. That's why I got kicked myself out earlier. So it looks like there. If you just type it in, they'll pull up. There was one in New York, in 2021, that I saw. And I know that there was another one, but there are some in recent history. And I also was looking up there, just like Outlaw Trucker was saying, when stuff like this happens, it gets all dealt with internally.
Yeah, of course it. That's every company.
And so you can pull it up. You can pull up. It's called the Purple Promise. That's
Oh.
FedEx's Purple Promise. So whether they're contracting people or not, they're having a purple promise to people.
Yeah.
So that's stuff
I mean,
that
they would
definitely
really have
needs to be checked out.
if all their ground workers, which the site itself even states their ground workers are subcontracted laborers, then they would have to have that in place, right? I mean,
This is definitely part of a larger picture. Very, very much so. Just according to a couple of things that I
I would
saw.
be interested in any civil litigation that resulted from those and how it turned out.
Same here. But that's the thing, like somebody was already saying earlier, they'll just NDA and pay off. And so hopefully this can be something people should know. Like I didn't know that there was somebody convicted in 2021. I mean, these are things that need to be known.
They can only NDA and close it out if somebody agrees. And I don't know if they'll be able to get that woman to agree. She seems pretty fired up for her baby. So they better I just don't know.
Yeah, I so wish I could. I can't pull stuff up while I'm up here. It kicks me off. But I did find the Purple Promise, which is on the FedEx website, and then I just Googled FedEx drivers charged with, and then I just put words, all the crimes in, and stuff did pull up. So I mean, this is something. It might not be as much of an anomaly as people might think at this
Well,
point.
and like Cappy said, if you go by numbers alone, stats alone say that more would have to be employed by them just because, what did you say? They have 300,000 employees?
I saw 600,000 employees.
Okay.
That was just at first glance. I'm not, don't quote me on
See,
that one.
so, and if you go with one and every so many people's a predator, boom, like it's easy.
Statistically, they got a couple predators work for them. I mean, and
Yeah.
they know, they probably know. Of course they know. God.
See, you got to remember, FedEx
You
is
can't
worldwide.
say
It's
they
all over.
know. You can't say they know that. That's not fair because these drivers, a lot of themselves are all alone during their, their days and stuff. So to assume people know that somebody's, especially a child predator that's not fair.
Well, I just know corporations are greasy, and the money is the only thing that really matters to huge money in
I will not disagree with
appearances.
that, but you cannot say that they know who the predators are that are working for
No,
them.
no. I didn't mean it like that.
Oh, I take your words
You're just
literal.
on literal today.
I'm on
What
literal every day, bitch.
What I meant what I meant was, like you were just saying, the numbers you would have to assume.
Oh,
that,
you mean like they would assume by numbers too? See, girl, I take everything literally. I can't help it. You say something to me, I take your words at face value.
You're making me
Normally.
rip out my hair right now. You're driving me crazy. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry.
I'm joking.
But I try to listen to what people say to me and, go by what they're saying, not what I think they're saying. And I'm wrong half the time anyways. So it doesn't matter what I do. But you're right. Statistically speaking, they know that there are these horrible people. The airlines and schools and everywhere, statistically speaking, yes, we do know that.
Yeah, it's
everywhere.
hard too. It's really difficult because I'm the opposite. I'm not a super stranger danger parent. I didn't think that everything, problems and issues and bad people are creeping around every single moment of every single day. But goddamn, the more time I spend on the internet, doesn't help.
It helps
We
you be
just
more
have
aware,
to stay
doesn't it?
vigilant. Yeah, you have to stay
You really
vigilant.
do.
And us not thinking about these employees before this happening just proves that we all just kind of numb over to it because who wants to think about or believe that? I mean, but it's always there and we're stupid if we forget that.
Yeah. And I was also reading about the internal thing. There was and it got me to thinking, because they made it a point in it to say, oh, don't worry if you report something, don't worry about retaliation, something along those lines. And that got me to thinking, oh man,
that's all of HR though. That's
I know I've had a job like that before where shit was going bad and I was too scared to say anything.
Oh,
because I didn't want to, you know what I mean? I didn't want to rock
Yeah.
the boat. And then so that just hit me the wrong way when I was reading that.
No, I get it. I do. I had a friend actually call me to let me know about my flight change and stuff, and I called back, and he was in a position at a bar that made him remember how dangerous it is for women and children in general on a daily basis. He had a stranger totally invade his personal space and was touching him, and he said that he wanted to scream at them to stop touching me, but he didn't want to make a scene and cause waves in front of everybody because it was actually at his job, though he was off. And he was like, that's how women feel all the time, isn't it? And I was like, yes, it is. When we don't always know to use our voices in certain situations because it will cause problems. And I feel like it spills over into a lot of aspects of our society. And I feel like if we just gotta, I don't know. I'm glad she got a lawyer and is shaking things up because if there is a loophole that allowed this, I feel like she'll find it, and that's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah. I think that ultimately the thing that I hope people can at least try to understand is because people are assuming it's just a payday, but it is part of a larger picture, and it's something that needs to be fully independently investigated. if there was ever something that needed an independent investigation, it's this. And how does this happen? How can we prevent this?
Well, and everybody who has children in their lives should want it to be that way. We need it to be thorough every time so we can try to find, it's always going to happen, but we got to try to do everything humanly possible, right?
Yeah, it's hard reading all the comments of what people already, saying that, oh, this is a payout and this and that. And it's not, you gotta, if you can't empathize with this mother and this family,
Look at that child. What amount of money would replace that?
Right. And like, that's why I didn't come up here opening up with they just want money or something. I don't think that that's what they want, but I wanted to know was there something I didn't know about FedEx being accountable or how they could be held accountable? Because I know that people are they're going to come out saying that like it's a money thing. They just want their money. And it doesn't sound like that's just what they want. They want like a thorough investigation.
Yeah. And he said that if they sue anyone.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, like, is it any skin off FedEx's ass? This is not some ma and pa like organization that, I don't know. I hate to like say it like that, but like that's their driver that they contracted or whatever the fuck they did. They hired him, they contracted him, whatever. Like
I hope these
there
people
needs
make
to
millions and they go on to do something great in her name and they never have to work again so that they can try to find peace and happiness because it's going to be impossible.
Yeah.
That's where the kind of point I was getting at is it doesn't come down to money. There's no amount that you can put on that. But in a way, it does come down to money because there is going to be financial burden that is a direct result of this crime that happened, from their employee.
Let's start with the very most simple thing. The mom lives in Oklahoma. This man will have all court dates here in Texas. Gas is not cheap.
Yep, she'll be traveling.
Yes, missing work.
The forefront is the therapy for the children because there's 2 other children involved, and then probably a number of cousins, which I don't know about you guys, but I'm very close family.
Yeah,
I mean, cousins are brothers and sisters. I mean, they're just like the treatment for them growing up. Like this isn't just this isn't just something that you forget about. This is something that is a permanent dent on your life. And
on in a week, and these people are stuck in this nightmare for the rest of their fucking life.
Exactly.
This isn't some case like, for example, like Sharice Iverson, the little girl that was SA'd and killed at the Prima Donna at State Line, Nevada. Her dad had her running around the casino all night, didn't even get a hotel or nothing. They're from LA. So they, just did like they were going to do a turnaround trip. And she was, I think she was 8 and her brother was 14 and he had her brother watching her. And like, there was several times where security got him and brought the kids back to him and like, hey, you have to watch your kids. They're not even allowed on the casino floor.
Wow.
And like she was, it was a huge deal. It was in 1997 and this 18-year-old did that to her and his friend saw it and, saw some of it and didn't say anything about it. He never did any time, but the one who did all that to her is doing life in prison in Nevada. But the long story short, the parents, the dad specifically sued Prima Donna and Prim Casinos because they said that the casinos put off a false sense of like safety, that your kid's going to be safe there and that they'll basically watch your kid with the arcade, and that they were very irresponsible. And there was like he sued them also because I guess he called the casino and said like, hey, we could settle out of court if you give me some money, some like, give me a fucking a loan to play on or some shit like that, and a 6-pack of beer or something weird like that. But I don't question much of what was said about him, only because the way he moved in the whole case, like it was literally like 5 times they brought the kids back to him at like 2 and 3 in the morning, right? And they'd even the security guards at Buffalo Bills, is a casino next door, even brought this, like, had to find
See,
him
so
to
you're
bring the
right.
kids back.
That was negligence, though. Yeah.
Total, like, on
Yeah.
dad's behalf, like the security guards were watching your kid. That is
Yeah.
fucked up. And it was just really messed up. And then, like, his whole reaction to what had happened to her too was just like not, it was just really messed up. Like, it was a real vile, horrid thing that happened to her too. Like, you should look into it. It's bad. It's terrible.
Well, and this is gonna sound judgy or whatever, but if you're in that area at that kind of establishment, what the fuck is wrong with you to leave your child unattended?
Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. Like, listen, I'm a kid of the 80s and I come from a Vegas gambling family, okay?
Yeah, of course.
Not once was I, like, left to run, or like, I had
No.
some free reign depending on who I went with. If I went with my mom and her friends, a little more freedom than when if we went with grandma and grandpa and stuff, right? Because there was
Yeah.
more, like, somebody was always knew where I was at. There was no, like, 3 in the morning.
Oh.
Are you crazy? Like, no. Like, I got more freedom when I became like a teen and stuff like that. But with 7 and 8, like, they just barely started bringing me to Vegas, and it was like usually on trips where more adults were there so they could circulate someone watching me,
The only place I remember being unattended was like at church, which is also stupid, but
Right. It's another false sense of safety.
Yeah, exactly. And but we were always attended, and it was family that hurt me. So I mean, it doesn't matter where you're at, you got to stay vigilant. But I just couldn't imagine taking my and I'm not trying to sound judgy, but I can't imagine taking a kid to a casino, and especially at that hour, and just gambling and not.
Listen, like, people from, like, Southern California know, like, if you're doing a Vegas turnaround or a state line turnaround trip, that's not a kid trip. Yeah, you might take kids to Vegas and have a more organized trip where you take them to Circus or you take them to the kiddie casinos. But a turnaround trip is like for people that want to get fucked up and party and gamble.
Yeah,
like
party.
I've done them before. They're real fun, but they're not for kids. And it's like, come on now. Like, are you fucking serious?
And Vegas has only become kid friendly, like, really, what, the last 15 years, really? But before,
Right,
like you said,
Circus
it was 99.
was always there, but like,
yeah.
But still, like, that was one casino exclusive, and there was like small arcades and casinos, but there wasn't really nothing, And let me tell you this too: if I ever got brought back to my mom by security, she would have been like, "Oh fuck, we're gonna pack it up, call it a day, and go to the room."
Mm-hmm.
That girl, I'm with you. I just can't see planning a trip to go to Vegas with my girlfriends, and we're bringing our kids and saying, which casino has the best daycare?
Right.
Not an option. Not
an option.
My kids went to my parents and stuff whenever I would go to work out. Like, I didn't even put them in gym daycares.
Yeah, I remember going to gym daycare a couple times. That fucking sucked.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I didn't take my kids. I got stuck in that motherfucker too.
It sucked, dude. Like in the 80s, like, oh.
And I know that it's restrictive and you've got to have a life and all the things people say, but in my personal opinion, when you choose to have children, you choose not to have a life anymore.
Well, I mean, listen, like, I had a bad experience with a babysitter, right? So I just, like, I never trusted anybody but grandma and grandpa on both, like, my in-laws and my parents.
Yeah.
With my kids. I had one girl that, like, would help me when my son was a baby sometimes. But like, I never left her alone with him though. Like, she would be at the house with me, and like sometimes I'd like if she wanted to make a little bit of money, I'd give her like $20. She'd watch him for 2 hours while I did dishes and did stuff like that. So I knew her and she needed some money, and he like enjoyed playing with her. So it was kind of like a win-win for them, and I got to get some stuff done without having to worry. But they're in the house with me. I'm right there. Like,
and you're so blessed that you had both grandparents to help. I do realize there's people that don't have that help, and I feel really sorry for them. Like, I'm not judging them, but the people who, There's y'all know what kind of people I'm talking
Girl,
about.
there were times when they weren't there though, and I wanted to do things and I just didn't do them because only because of that horrible experience I had. Because it was that bad that I just never had trust. And like I would have never thought something like that would happen in a babysitter situation.
You know what? That's true though. Your experience, they mold us and they make us make the decisions we make. And you were lucky that you were able to have that situation for your kids is all I know. You're lucky.
Yeah,
Those
definitely.
of us who had people we could trust are lucky.
Yes,
I wanted to bring something up really quick before I take off, and so this goes back to the people that are pointing fingers and accusing these parents now of wanting a payout. Do you guys remember the McDonald's coffee litigation that happened in the 90s?
That they got all that money because the coffee was
third
too
degree
hot.
burn lady? Yeah.
Yes. Have you guys ever looked into the facts of that case?
No, have
The
you?
literal act.
So
got
long ago that all
Okay.
I know is that's why it says caution hot on your cup now.
Well, I strongly advise everybody to look up the facts of that case because McDonald's, they made a mockery of it, and even to this day, the fact that you guys have never looked into the facts of the case, they did such a good job smearing those people. Did you know it was like a 79-year-old woman, and she had third degree burns, and the issue was a McDonald's issue with their coffee being past the boiling point, which is like against safety rules and regulations. And she did require skin grafts, and it was like a very severe. It wasn't like, and it was turned into such a joke, and she was
They made
smeared.
it sound like she sipped it too soon, and that's why she got burnt. And that's not what happened.
She wasn't even driving. Her son was driving. He himself was elderly too, and they pulled over, and they had pulled over to the side, and she was just gonna like pop the creamer in or something, and that's how the lid came off, and it spilled into her lap and onto her hand. And it was determined that the coffee makers throughout the country and various McDonald's locations had their coffee. They were serving their coffee like 212, like past boiling point,
which is insane.
And so they made it. It was just like, it was on all the late shows. Everybody joking McDonald's coffee, and still to this day. And so that case was, I believe, one of the case law that determined that you can only sue a corporation for so much civil. There's like a cap on it. And if you actually look, the people never even really got money. I think.
Isn't it here in Texas? I think it's like 750,000. There's a cap. Yeah.
If you ever have time, just like if you ever look into the actual facts of that case, like what happened with that case, and the media and everything like that, and then what the actual real story was, it's actually two wholly different things. And
that's a great example, though. That's a really good example.
That's one of the things that turned people off so bad from just wanting their payday and this, that, and the other thing. But I mean, if you really look into it, I mean, that was fucking something that was totally their fucking fault.
How did something that big sneak by?
This was in the 90s.
No, I remember it. I mean, how did nobody know what you're informing us of? I'm not doubting you either. Don't get that. It's just crazy.
There was no Google back then.
Well, I knew that she was severely injured, and I do remember back when it happened knowing more about it, but it's been so many years. Like, I forgot that even happened. That was a great example.
Yeah, people made it sound like she got her coffee and she was just drinking it while she was driving, and it burnt her mouth or burnt her lip or something. No, I hate to even use, but this poor old woman, her private parts were severely. She had to have skin grafts. I mean, it was bad, and that's one of the joke that was made of her. The corporation of McDonald's just being just such assholes, and
she really was a late night
everything that was done. But yeah, I do highly encourage everybody to look into that for yourself. Just check it out, because it was actually fucking insanely gnarly, and it was something that was beyond her control. And yeah, it wasn't what it was made to be. But that is one of the reasons why people have the way they feel about people looking for payouts and stuff. That wasn't a payout. That was something that fucking was negligent done to her by a corporation. And that's how I feel about this FedEx thing too.
And I knew that's why they put the hot warnings on the coffee cups and stuff now. And even at a young age, I knew that they wouldn't have to do that if they hadn't have done something wrong. I did not realize the part I didn't realize in what you said, because I knew about all the rest of it, was that they were found to have been keeping their coffee over boiling point. That I did not know.
Yeah, and not just at that McDonald's location. It was a problem like all over the place.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I totally believe it.
I will step up and help you guys out. Each coffee pot that McDonald's has, it has a set screw for the temperature. And if the manager don't keep an eye on the heat of the coffee, that temperature can move or go out of whack, and it will cause hotter coffee than the normally preset is. So,
could you imagine boiling water on your lap in the car? My God. Ouch.
You can't even get away from it.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're sitting there and it's just, no, you have to wait for it to cool. It's awful.
Well, now that when someone else makes that joke or that reference, I'm going to correct them, because I didn't know any of that.
I also thought that, honestly, I thought her burns ended up at that caliber because of her age and her skin sensitivity, which still isn't okay either way. Like, I never dismissed it, but I didn't realize, like I said, that they were keeping it at such high temperatures. That's like lava.
Well, and you know what? That's just like kind of goes to show, like what I was saying earlier, like, okay. Oh, actually, I wasn't saying this earlier. I was in a comment section fucking reading people. I was reading motherfuckers earlier. Oh my God, about media manipulation and how people are just fucking fall victim to being gullible as fuck when they see like some crazy shit. And that was kind of like a good example of that, because I thought the woman was a joke until I'm just hearing this right now. Like, and I think about it, and yeah, I could totally see that fucking happening, to where it was just made some joke when really I know better. Coffee shouldn't give you third-degree burns.
No, but like I said, I thought maybe her skin was more sensitive due to age. I didn't realize that it was truly being kept above boiling points. So that's even something.
Right, that too. That part too. And it's like,
that's crazy. That's so dangerous.
That's part of the reason why I watched that Casey Anthony thing with an open mind. I was like, you know what? Let me just, she's still crazy and she still lies. But I went in with an open mind, like I did, because, but
I still haven't seen it yet, and I had know pretty much nothing about the case, so I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, no, you should watch it. I have a lot of different feelings about her dad, but I kind of did a couple days before it when I saw this one picture. I was like, dude, I would never sit on my daddy's lap like that and have his hand right there. I was just like, what? No. It like stopped me in my tracks. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Then I saw the documentary and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I don't know about all this.
Hey everybody.
Nah.
I'm gonna jump down, but I'm gonna put those other cases in the Discord.
Yeah, do it.
And I'm glad that FedEx is cooperating and has cooperated with the investigation.
Me too.
And I would like for people, if anybody can hear my words right now, I would like for people to just take a step back and try not to see money or dollar signs, and understand that this family is hurting. They've lost a child. They've got people coming at them in all directions. And their main concern is to, obviously go on with their lives, make sure the other children are okay. But also, this is an issue. This is something that should be addressed and talked about. The importance of having these people around us all the time and just inherently trusting them just because. This is something that needs to be discussed and talked about. And I'm not saying burn FedEx, cancel. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying that this needs to be looked at. This needs to be addressed. This needs to be talked about. This little girl mattered. Her family matters, and this is, you know, try to just keep an open mind.
And this
Yeah, no.
investigation could save another child, y'all.
It's
Okay, or
Maybe.
many children.
just figure out, you know, just get to the bottom of it. Figure out. There's no way to foresee certain, you know, circumstances, but there could be something. You just don't know. And
I think you raised some great points.
an
I
independent
appreciate it.
investigation separate of the corporation absolutely 100% needs to take place, and that's my thoughts.
I
for now.
agree. No, I agree completely, for sure. I appreciate some of the points you made too, because whether people want to or not, you've got to think outside the box, because there's more to
For
it
sure.
than just this.
And also check out that McDonald's coffee case when you have some time. Maybe I'll throw that article in the chat too. But have a good day, everybody, and I'll talk to y'all
Thank you,
later.
Pecan.
You too. And yeah, and check out the Sharice Iverson case too.
Yeah, for sure. That's wild. That's like polar opposite of what happened.
Well, what's
here.
crazy is that the kid, I say kid, he was 18. His friend that looked over the bathroom stall and saw what was happening never had any charges at all. And he was literally like, I don't want to like be the one to snitch on my homie, and I'm going to make money off this. I'm not stupid. And he ended up going to Berkeley because they were like they were from like the Belmont Shores area of Long Beach. Like Long Beach is really big. There's a really rich area. There's a really poor area. There's a middle class area. It's kind of almost like a county of its own within LA County, you know? And they were from the Belmont Shores area and very rich and had a lot of privilege. And he was going to Berkeley, and there's like a whole video on YouTube of the students at Berkeley like having to talk with him, like with a journalist there, like doing interview, like, are you serious? Like, and he of course tried to walk back everything he had said on this one radio interview. And I mean, I know he's 18, but like, seriously, I don't give a fuck. When it comes to essay of a child, you're done in my book. Like, if you watch that happen and you didn't think to like, once you got home, like, okay, let's say you were too scared to do anything there. Once you got home, you still didn't say nothing. You know?
Yeah.
Not saying anything, he might as well have recorded it. That's disgusting.
Right. It was a really horrible case, and a lot of people around here, because they're from LA, and a lot of people from this area go out to, you know, State Line and shit. And it was just really like hit home. And then when I was researching that case, right, recently, I found out, okay, Whiskey Pete's is the casino that's across the highway at State Line. There was a kid that they found deceased there in like 10 years prior to that in 1987, and I didn't know about that. There's only one video on it.
That would be a prime place for that.
Yes, because the
mean?
desert, like the
Yeah.
the vast bare desert is right there next to those
Yep.
casinos. Like, there's only 3 big buildings and like
You have to
2 gas
wonder
stations,
how many
basically.
people are truly out there.
Oh my gosh, like not
I
even
bet you it's a
counting the mob, like probably other people too, you know, because
Yeah.
Lake Mead, like, you know how the lakes are receding here, like we're just drying up into nothing over here in California, and
Yes.
like, or on the West Coast. But Lake Mead was starting to recede so much that there was barrels with bodies in them surfacing from the mob times when Vegas was mob ran.
Yep.
And I'm just like, oh my God, can you imagine? Like, there's gotta be tons of bodies out there in the desert. Just like Joe Pesci said in that movie.
Yes, you're talking about the movie Casino.
There's a lot of holes in that desert.
That's a great movie, dude. That's one of
It
my
is
favorite
such a good movie. I love Martin Scorsese. Him and Tarantino are my 2 favorite movies.
Little Nicky was so brutal, man. The
And you know what? He was
pen was my like absolute favorite.
And he was really little too.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
in real life, the guy who he played was little. The guy he played in Goodfellas was actually a big guy, but Nicky Santero, the real Nicky Santero, which wasn't his last name, he was really little guy and crazy.
That movie was wild. They did a good job on that movie.
Really good movie.
They did a
really
good job telling that story, man.
They definitely did. They did, and that's why part of the reason why I like Scorsese. He's pretty he's pretty nailed to the truth. Yeah, law nerd. The Sharice Iverson Act is basically kind of like a Good Samaritan type of law type of thing, to where, you know, it's not like the Good Samaritan, and I guess it is kind of so you won't get in trouble if you witness something, as long as you're telling about it, but also if you don't stop it. I need to research Jeremy Strohmeyer is his name. I need to research exactly what the Sharice Iverson Act is, but there was a law put in place because of that incident. So it was pretty crazy.
Really awful.
It was so awful. It was awful.
It's sad how many people have died and been taken advantage of and done like that way as children. I think people don't always view children as little people themselves, but they are, and they deserve respect and protection. And it just blows my mind that people have to have a law enacted to know that. It just,
right.
Oh, I don't get it. I don't guess I ever will.
Sad and scary. Like, yeah, you just, like, if you ever see the interview with the kid, you're just going to want to punch him in the face.
That's awful, man.
Yeah. Just gross. Really gross. But yeah, I was thinking about doing a video on that one.
You should, because I would like to know more about that. You should do that, please.
Yeah,
I know you'll research it, and I don't have to sit there and.
Because it was in the late 90s. There was surveillance, though, because especially in casinos, there's always been the eye in the sky. And they got surveillance of her running in the bathroom, and then those two guys following her in there. And just like, so awful. It was like 3 a.m. But anyways, Queen, I'm going to jump down. If you're on here later still, I'm going to jump back up.
Well, that's fine, baby. I didn't know if you guys were going to stay on here. If you wanted to, you know what I'm saying? Did you want to keep going or what?
I've got a ton to do. Yeah, I've got a ton to do, so I have to jump down too. But thank you for letting us talk about this morning.
Yeah, baby, that's fine. We can maybe we can reconvene later or something, you know. We'll do
it's good to vent it and to be able to do it with people I know aren't stupid. So thank you, because I know this is hard.
Yeah, no, it really was. It got me today, man. It got a lot of us. Anyways, I love you, baby. I'll talk to y'all later. Good talking to you guys.
Bye, Caps. Have a good day.
Thank all of you. I'm going to jump down too.
Love you too, baby. We'll see you later, honey. Thank you for coming up and hanging out.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye, y'all.
Talk to you soon, love.
Thank you, Outlaw Trucker, for coming up and giving us some insight on that too.
Not a problem. I wanted to come up anyway to have a chat, but I just wanted to get the facts out, how the major companies actually do and how they do handle it in a proper way, but they don't want to obstruct anything from an ongoing investigation from internal affairs, like with the police and all that, where it can contradict and have conflicts.
Absolutely.
But I just want to say thank you for allowing me up, Queen, and you have a good day.
No problem, and you as well.
All right, later.
We'll talk to you later. Come back anytime. And you all have a good day. Thank you guys for being here, and I appreciate y'all hanging out and stuff. And if you guys are around later or you feel like hanging out, stop over. We'll be live later. Have a good day, guys.
I've been on my own for 3 weeks now. I've been drinking every single bottle, Jim Beam down. You say I'm crazy, but I think you're just mad. You say I'm wild, what's so bad about that? Baby, we were good, like white wine going down. But only the whiskey can save me now. Only the whiskey can save me now. I walk a straight line, but it only brings me down. There's love in that bottle that I'm drinking down, drowning a heartache since you walked out. Only the whiskey can save me now. Only the whiskey can save me now. Even the preacher, he says he can't help me. I've been singing praise the Lord, hallelujah, but it don't set me free. You say I'm crazy, but I think you're just mad. You say I'm wild, but what's so bad about that? I've been seeing old lovers, but they can't keep the memories out. Oh, only the whiskey can save me now. Only the whiskey can save me now. Only the whiskey can save me now. Oh, I walk a straight line, but it only brings me down. There's love in that bottle that I'm drinking down, drowning a heartache since you walked out. Only the whiskey can save me now. Only the whiskey can save me now.